like a in between naughty and nice?
A lot of jokes I want to make. No. Yes.
Okay, so we don't have to commit?
Well, I didn't get that far. Naughty nice or forgot about you. Like, sorry, I forgot to get you a present.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Like, you just don't get anything. You don't get coal nor a present.
It's like, I care about you, I just didn't think of you enough.
I'll get you a card with no money inside of it.
And a pre-bought card.
And a pre-bought card. Yeah. Yeah. I won't write in it. Like, it's like, oh, like you clearly forgot. Like, you clearly forgot to get a present, but you're like, oh, this is why I leave 7 Christmas cards in my junk drawer. There's stains on it, but you're like, this will work because it's the best I have. We'll give out the stained junk drawer Christmas card if you're in between the naughty or nice category.
It'd be even funnier if you gave like a get well soon card instead of a Christmas card.
Yeah, it's like a generic card. Get well soon.
Happy retirement.
Is that for
that could
Gardner Minshew?
Ooh,
Get well soon card.
Holmes and Minshew.
Are we out here are we giving away cards now instead of naughty or nice?
No, we got to do the naughty or nice.
Like Uncle, like happy birthday, Uncle. That could be for Gardner Minshew because he looks like Uncle Rico. Like there's some things we could do. We could do that another time. Maybe it's both. We'll wing it. It's Christmas Eve. We're having fun. Lee Sterling around 10:45 of Paramount Sports. We're going to talk a little more than a rooting interest. We'll talk the betting side of things. Lee Sterling and Todd Lebo. Cynthia Freeland, data scientist for NFL Network, joins us at 11. Matt Verderam of SI joins us at 12:30. Talking with Matt Verderam at 12:30, and then Mick Schaefer joins us at 1 o'clock. So it'll be a fun show today. You know what's also fun? I didn't know third place in our fantasy football league got paid. Didn't care about that semifinals matchup because I'm like, who cares? Well, I won by 1 point.
What was the pot?
I got $50. Just found that Venmo come across.
For third place is not bad at all.
Third place, yeah. I'll take it. I don't know how that happened.
That's free money to FanDuel.
That's free. That's free money. No, we're doing good on FanDuel now. The NBA has picked up for me.
I meant more like to use on FanDuel.
Oh, it'll be used. Oh, don't you worry. Someone's getting that 50. Whether it's Cutwater neutral, whether it's back 9, whether it's FanDuel, someone's getting that 50. Someone's getting that 50 from me. Something I like's getting that 50 from me. That's a Sterling stamp. There's the Sterling stamp that will come true. Someone's getting that $50, and it's not going to be me. All right, so that's how the show breaks down. Let's get into the first segment here. I do want to get into again, Christmas edition, naughty or nice. I know there's going to be cuttable things in here, but this is the most fun way of doing it for the season because the season is essentially over. This is one of the few times, this is the first time, and I'll count Tennessee last week. This is the first time since I have moved back to Kansas City, been covering the Chiefs, been working at the radio station, where I just don't care to watch the games. But I have to, because we're going to talk about it, and we're going to break them down. This is the first time where I've actually found myself saying, this is not enjoyable. Now, I'm not counting 2012 because I wasn't working in 2012. Okay? I started working in 2018-ish around the station. 19, around that time frame. And so, in my time working in sports media, this is the first time where I thought, I actually don't care to watch the Chiefs game.
This is the first time they haven't made the AFC Championship while you've worked in media.
Yeah, I was the good luck charm. I told Travis that, told Jason Kelsey that. Because when I moved to Philly, they won the Super Bowl. When I moved back to KC, they won the Super Bowl. I told them both that. And we were at this event, and Travis goes, yeah, well, we don't talk about last year. Because, obviously, the Eagles had won, and Jason starts cackling. It was pretty funny back and forth with those two guys.
Yeah, that was probably a tough one to reminisce about.
Yeah. Well, like at least Jason was on it, so he couldn't lord over Travis that ring. All right, naughty or nice? Let's get into it. Stop laughing, Darcy. Stop laughing. Get your head out of the gutter. Have they been naughty or have they been nice? That's what we're doing here. It's Chiefs edition. Start with quarterback. Patrick Mahomes. He's been nice.
He's been real nice.
He's been real nice. He's had better nice years. Okay? He's had better years. But we saw, now again, there are injuries. There are a lot of things that happened that made the Tennessee game what it was. But even that alone, small sample size, showed me that Patrick Mahomes covers up a lot of stink, a lot of naughtiness on this Chiefs team. So, Patrick, you get a very nice present. You're nice. Congrats. Santa's going to visit you.
I couldn't agree more. I think you saw, especially in that Titans game, that when Mahomes isn't out there, the team doesn't function. And I think, maybe it hasn't been the best statistical year, and he threw more interceptions. He was also dealing with that knee injury before he tore his ACL. I think all things considered, he had a really nice year.
So, his present, a new knee.
A reconstructed knee.
That's what Santa's going to give him. A new knee. Running back room, because Gardner we didn't see enough of to make. He was injured on like the third play. He stayed in for a little longer, but he got injured on that third play. Isaiah Pacheco.
He's incredibly naughty.
Yeah, naughty. But I do want to say, I wish I could say nice, because if we did, the gift we'd give him. We could also give gifts. How about that? Because this is going to be more fun. Glasses.
Can we give him glasses regardless?
Vision. Yeah, it's like Santa's like, you're naughty, but also we're going to get your vision fixed, so we're going to get you some glasses.
That's one of those presents that as a kid you'd be upset if you got, glasses, but when you get older, you're like, I could actually really use these, and I'm sure Pacheco could use them.
So that's Pacheco. Kareem Hunt. Nice. And the gift I give Kareem Hunt, the copper fit leg things, because I want him to come back next year on short yardage situations. And that he's getting older, and so he needs the copper fit. You know those commercials?
Oh, yeah.
Which, by the way, on those copper fit commercials, Brett Favre would show up. And then Jerry Rice would show up. They show up together, right? Jerry Rice and Brett Favre. Why are they on the same team? In those commercials, why is Brett Favre throwing... You know how unfair that is for the out-of-shape 45-year-old guys getting torched by Brett Favre and Jerry Rice? At least split them up. Make Brett all-time quarterback.
Deeb said if you want to be the best, you got to beat the best.
What was my pet peeve? Why are they on the same team? Split them up. Do a draft. All right, Kareem Hunt.
I'd say he's nice.
He's nice. What are you getting him? I got him copper fit.
I'll give
leg
him a
things.
massage gun because he needs it.
I like that one. Smart. Astute. Brashard Smith doesn't have enough to, I think, judge. So we can't.
You just forgot about him.
We forgot about him.
Didn't give him a gift.
We didn't get him a gift.
Could his gift be more carries on Christmas?
That'd be the gift to me and to you and to Chiefs fans. Rashee Rice.
I feel like this one just kind of speaks for itself. When he's been on the field, he's been, I don't want to say nice, but overall I think he's been pretty naughty over the past year and a half.
I would agree. I'm not going to say what we're going to get him because I just feel like there's too many things that could be bad. We'll go to Juju Smith-Schuster.
It sucks with Juju because I think that before last game I'd say he's been nice because he's a wide receiver 4. But when you're getting number 1 wide receiver reps when the season's over, it's not really his fault. Is it fair to say that we just kind of forgot to give him a gift?
Yeah, it's not his fault. It's not your fault, Juju. It's not your fault. He should not be playing 91% of snaps in a game. Sorry, I like you, Juju. You do have a role on this team. But 91% of snaps, that's naughty work by the coaching staff. So, not on you, Juju. Your gift, you get the day off. Go watch your TikToks. Go create some TikToks. I don't know if he still does that or not. I know we talked about it like 5 years ago when he first came to KC. That was a big thing for him. Don't know if he still does.
Maybe he needs to make the TikTok so he can get back to playing at that level.
Jalen Royals, forgot about. coaching staff apparently has forgot about. Xavier Worthy.
I'd say he's been. I hate to use just. We forgot about him. I'd say he's been naughty. He's been a disappointment this year over last year.
I would agree. But is that him? Or is that coaching staff? There's a combo there. Because I do think it's multifaceted with Xavier Worthy. More than any receiver, I think Xavier Worthy is the one being misused more than anyone.
And there's injury concerns too. He dislocated his shoulder week 1. He's dealt with, ankle injuries. I think you could chalk a lot of this season up to him being hurt, but he's also not really coming back to the football. And for someone that is as developed as a route runner as he is, we're not really seeing that. But to your point, that's a coaching naughty issue.
I'll still go slightly naughty. And what we're going to give present-wise to Xavier Worthy on this holiday season, ankle weights. Ankle weights. So we can walk around and get those ankles stronger.
I'd give him like a barbell and a bench.
Barbell and a bench.
And probably mass gainer because he needs to put on a little bit of weight.
The mass gainer 4,000? Yeah, I like that. Hollywood.
He's been naughty. I mean, I expected him to be more of a threat. He shows up sometimes, but he's just so inconsistent. I think it's been overall a pretty disappointing tenure for him in Kansas City. Whether you go back to last year where he got hurt, this year he's been there, he just hasn't really been that effective.
This is who I thought he was going to be this year. So he gets the card that's in the junk drawer that you forget about, and then you bust out, and it's just a generic card. That's what I'm getting in Hollywood.
I think I'd forget to get him a gift.
Yeah. He's been what I thought he was going to be. Tyquan Thornton.
Oh, he's been real nice.
Real nice. He's been great. He's been real nice. Santa's going to give him a new contract. That's what Santa's giving him. That's
1 year? 2 years?
That's the gift. 2 year. Santa's going to be nice and give Tyquan a gift of a new contract. That he's been extremely nice. I've been really happy with Tyquan Thornton. I wish we would see him more. I mean, it's funny. You're going to look it up. So Hollywood has 516 yards receiving this year. Tyquan Thornton has 438. In fairness, though, Tyquan's averaging 23.1 yards per reception. They're big plays only, right? You got to find a way to get Tyquan more involved.
Tyquan Thornton has been more Xavier Worthy than Worthy's been Worthy.
Well, and this is my point with the coaching staff, where I do think that Tyquan Thornton is better currently in the role they're using Worthy in, and Worthy's better in the role they're currently using Hollywood in. Worthy's a fine route runner. He's a better route runner than it feels like the Chiefs coaching staff thinks he is. But anytime we see him run real routes, it works and he's open. Anytime you have him do these deep routes that they don't want Tyquan to do, and then when Tyquan does, he catches them, that's not Xavier's game. Whether it's the injury or not, it's not working. I think there's some maneuvering that needs to go on, but Tyquan Thornton has been nice. He's been nice. Travis Kelce.
I think he's been nice. This has been one of the better not one of the better seasons of his career, but based on last year, he's bounced back in a big way, and he's top 2 right now in receiving yards and I believe receptions. So that's been a real nice addition, and out of everybody on this offense that has struggled, I don't think he's been one of them.
So Travis Kelce, very nice, but what do you give a guy who has nothing to want for? Socks. You get him socks. So Travis Kelce, you've been very nice, but you get socks. Noah Gray.
He's been naughty. I think Noah Gray's been a little bit of a disappointment this year, whether it's the coaching staff's fault or the injuries that he sustained. But for a guy that was brought back on a second contract, you'd like to see him provide more offensively. He had that stretch last year where he had like 4 touchdowns in 2 games, but he's not a very good blocking tight end, and if he's not catching the football, it's not a great contract. So I'd say he's been naughty.
I would agree, and I will say Stickum is his gift. Stickum. After the last couple drops he had. He normally has never had a drop issue. Normally he's very sure-handed, so maybe it's a little unfair, but those back-to-back drops, those stand out, at least for this season. Offensive line. Let's go with the main guys because Esapole has not played enough. I don't even know if we can count Josh Simmons or Wanya Morris, so let's go with like the guys who play the most snaps. Kingsley Sumatia.
I think he has been very nice. I think he's a piece for the future that we didn't really talk about it in the beginning of the season because the Chiefs had other issues going on, but they made a big gamble with putting him at left guard and just assuming that it was going to work out. He's an above-average left guard.
Yeah, he's been very nice. I've been extremely impressed with Kingsley Suamataia. What he gets is everyone has to go on Twitter and delete their mean comments about him from last year. I think that's a fair gift. Everyone go back and recant your mean comments to Kingsley about how he couldn't play left tackle.
A public apology would be great.
Yeah, hey, I've given mine many a time because I early on in the year I gave it because Kingsley has become as you mentioned, not just a serviceable left guard, but like a good left guard. So here's to you, Kingsley Suamataia. Creed Humphrey.
He's nice. He's been nice his entire career, and with all the instability this year and the injuries, he's been there. So he's been nice.
Extremely nice. Maybe the offensive MVP of this team. You know what? That's what you get. Creed, you get the offensive MVP of the 2025 Chiefs season. That's your gift. Trey Smith.
I think we forgot about him. I think we forgot about his gift. He's good when he's played. He has been dealing with a back injury, a high and low ankle sprain. Maybe a little bit of an underwhelming season after signing that contract. So I guess I don't want to say naughty because I think it's too harsh. I think that they just forgot to give him a gift.
It's almost slightly naughty based on the contract. Right, slightly.
A bit naughty.
Just very, it's close. Santa had a hard time with this one. Santa had a hard time. He's a good player. He's playing through a lot of injuries. Even with the Chiefs out of it, he wants to make sure that he's a true professional. He's trying to get his guys, Esapole, everyone fired up. I love Trey Smith. But this year has been a slight disappointment because of the contract. We are no longer viewing him of the landscape of a sixth-round player. We are now viewing him as hey, you are the highest paid guard in football. And for that reason, slightly naughty. What do we get Trey Smith? An offseason to get healthy.
A back brace.
Get
him off his feet. Honestly, like a lot of these guys, just time off. A Cancun trip.
A Cancun trip for Trey Smith. He needs a Cancun trip. Trey Smith, Cancun trip. Santa's giving you that. Jalen Moore.
Is he in the category of we have to grade him?
Fine, Jawan Taylor.
Oh, he's been naughty. He's been incredibly naughty. He's been naughty for 3 years, and he just continues to make the same mistakes. I think he's not getting anything for Christmas.
Actually, he checked his stocking, and there was a flag in there. There was a flag.
Jawan Taylor would be the guy or the kid that got his parents up just super early for Christmas because he's always early.
It was a false start. Yeah. It was actually on Christmas Eve. It wasn't even Christmas. It was still 11:59. All right, let's go to the defense and coaching staff on the other side. We'll take a break, come back, more Zone. Sports Radio 810, a little naughty or nice, Chiefs edition.
Missouri, your moment, it's finally here, and you can enjoy it because NFL continues to go on. We're a week away from the quarterfinals in college football, had the first weekend of fun, first weekend of action, and now we get ready for a week from today and on into a week from tomorrow with that New Year's Eve and New Year's Day game, and now we're getting ready for the Christmas Day game with the Chiefs. Missouri, your moment, it's here because DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app, it's live in your state, and now you can make every game even more exciting. Same-game parlays, money lines, props, and more. All from your phone, all safe, secure, and easy to use. And Missouri fans, you know about game day. It's the tailgates, the noise, the passion. And now with DraftKings Sportsbook, you can bring that same energy to every snap, every touchdown, every win. And right now, new Missouri customers can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets instantly. No waiting, no nonsense, just pure action. Powered by America's top-rated sportsbook app. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code 810WHB. New Missouri customers bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets instantly. That's code 810WHB. The crown is yours in partnership with DraftKings Sportsbook.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus. Physically present in Missouri. Eligibility and restrictions apply. Terms at DraftKings.com/sportsbook. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos.
Welcome back to the Zone, Sports Radio 810 WHB. Sterling Holmes, Michael Darcy. Again, packed show. Cynthia Freeland joins us at 11. Matt Verderam joins at 12:30. Mick Schaefer joins at 1. Lee Sterling, a little betting side of things from Paramount Sports, joins in about 10 to 15-ish minutes. Let's wrap up our fun little game, Christmas Eve edition. Naughty or nice? Chiefs players. I think Darcy has a lot of cuts already done from this. Okay, that's not the point of it, though, Michael. Okay, the point of this is to have a Christmas theme while grading players.
Spread the holiday cheer.
And to have fun. It's Christmas Eve. Let us have fun. This is a present to me. Having fun. Okay? We're working. We're grinding.
We are grinding on who is naughty or nice.
See, that felt like that was on purpose.
Absolutely not. I'm just sticking with the segment.
Okay, good. Defense, George Karlaftis.
He's been naughty. He's been a huge disappointment, and I would honestly, as a present, I would give him a new defensive line coach. Or at least I would give him some additional help. Oh, that's a perfect gift. Give George Karlaftis some additional help.
He's been slightly naughty. Again, I think he's been a little unfairly roasted. I think he's been a little worse than what the contract is. Now, I get you see the money, and we talked about this a lot, that it's a lot of money. I'm not arguing $22 million a year is not a lot of money. But the going rate for edge rushers, that falls in line with that DN2-ish style of player. He's just been a disappointment a little bit. And again, I'm with you. I think he needs a guy on the other side because no one, half the line outside of him and Chris Jones, half the line is providing nothing right now. What are those shoes that used to make you go faster to get a quicker boost?
My first thought was wheelies.
I was thinking wheelies too,
but I don't think that would help.
Wheelies would help. I'll still, you know what? Give Karlaftis wheelies. He gets wheelies. Chris Jones.
I think he has been nice when he wants to be nice. I think he is a troublemaker, someone that would be on the fence of getting a gift or not. But when he shows up and he wants to be good, when he wants to be nice, he's nice.
I would agree. He's right in the cusp of this. Because he's been naughty, and he's been nice. But he knows it. He knows it. I would maybe still go. The last few weeks, I'd say he's been good and nice. But to start the year, him standing with his hands on his hips as Trevor Lawrence fights his way in the end zone still stands out to me. So I might go slightly naughty. We'll give him an oxygen mask because he's always huffing and puffing on that thing. Maybe he just needs one perpetually. So I'll give him an oxygen mask.
That sparkling water that he drinks out of like a wine bottle.
Yeah.
Give him that. And he could also use some more help too.
No one else in the defensive line deserves, because they've all been naughty, so we don't need to hash that out. They don't even get anything. We forgot.
No, we remembered. We just don't want to give them anything.
Better call. I like that, Darcy. Drew Tranquil.
I would say he's been slightly nice. I think he's had a solid year. Maybe it isn't going to get appreciated because of the way the season went. And he had a couple moments in Buffalo and even that Denver game he struggled. But I would say overall, his entire resume and body of work, he's been slightly nice.
Yeah, I'd say that. He gets a relatively cheap bottle of wine where you're like, well, I'm not buying him like a super nice bottle.
But you still thought of him.
I still thought of him. I'm still like, yeah, he was nice. He was nice. It's almost like a work thing where you give it to you're like, hey, you're nice. Here you go. I'm not gonna go out and buy you a $200 bottle of wine, but I saw this on sale for $15.99. I can splurge that for you.
I think Drew Tranquil would get the gift that you received last year that you never used, and you're like, well, we could just recycle this and give it to him.
Someone might like it.
Yeah,
let's give him that. Nick Bolton. I'm going nice. Nick Bolton is nice to me.
I'm going nice. He had a couple moments this year in coverage where you're a little bit confused, but again, how much of that is on Nick Bolton versus Steve Spagnuolo? So I'd say he's been nice.
And I'll say his gift is giving NIL money to Missouri basketball program.
Not enough NIL in the world to save that.
Yeah. Leo.
I think he's been very nice. And I think his reward, his gift, should be a second contract.
I'll run that back. I'll double that with you. I'll double it with you. Trent McDuffie.
He's been naughty. Oh, okay, slightly naughty. And I think it's because he's struggled a lot more this year matchup-wise than he has in years prior. And I'm a little bit fearful that since he has been naughty, his gift or lack thereof is going to be getting traded or getting franchise tagged. His gift very well could be the franchise tag.
Yeah, I'm going nice still. I think that we're a little jaded by the last game and a half that he played, and it was bad. Game and not even a half. Game and a couple snaps. It was bad. I don't argue that, but I think overall he's still been nice, especially for the rookie contract that he's on. It's not like he's getting paid $25 million right now. But I think you're right. I think he'll be rewarded, which if you want to count it as a reward with the franchise tag, which players hate. It seems like almost all players hate. Noah Williams.
I think he has been nice when we have seen him. I think he's had a couple moments where you're like, ooh, he got lost there, but he's young. He's going to make those mistakes. I think he has been nice.
Very nice. He's Noah Williams, not Cole Williams, because he's not getting any Cole in his stocking. He's getting more playing time. Noah Williams, that is your reward. Jalen Watson.
I'd say he's just been nice, but I'm not super overwhelmed by it. I'm also not as big on the Jalen Watson train as a lot of Chiefs fans. I think he has been very good. Very good's a stretch. He's been solid in a contract year. I would be worried if that was the alternative, if you're getting rid of Trent McDuffie this offseason and you're just like, oh, well, we're fine. We got Jalen Watson. I still think that is, he's a cornerback 2. He's not a cornerback 1.
I think he's been very good. I think he's played like a back-end cornerback 1 this year. I don't think that's how you should view him. I think you're right. You should view him as a top-end CB2. It's kind of how I view T. Higgins. Honestly, is how there's my comp of Jalen Watson. If you want a receiver, where I don't think he's a wide receiver CB1. Can he occasionally get to that level? Yeah, he sure can. Has he been injured in his career that's made it a little harder to judge? Yes, he has. I think that actually might be the comp that and people might call me crazy, but I think that's the version of cornerback, and because I'm lower on T. Higgins than most. I'm also a little higher on Jalen Watson than most, so maybe that's my viewpoint there.
They're counteracting each other.
Yeah. Safety room, we'll go with Brian Cook.
Brian Cook's been very nice. He's been the best safety on this team by a lot.
Brian Cook, anything you want to cook with, we'll give to you. You've been very nice. You want a filet? You got it. You want some barbecue? You got it. What do you want? Brian Cook, start cooking because you've been cooking all year long. Shamari Connor.
I think he's been slightly nice. I think in the spots that he's been utilized properly, and that's a big caveat, he's actually been solid. And he's actually been someone that has been able to get to the quarterback on blitzes that, when it is dialed up correctly, it works. Now, if you ask him to cover a tight end or a receiver, that's where I get scared. But if you bring him up into the box and have him utilized as more of like a hybrid linebacker role, I actually think that he's been pretty nice.
Yeah, I would agree. I think they just have used him in the slot incorrectly. He's been, I think, nice. I know Shamari Connor has a really wide range of how people view him, but I think Shamari Connor's had a good year. Again, when you put someone in a spot that you know he's not good at, is that on the player or is that on the coaching staff? Because I don't think that's on the player. That's not his fault that you're putting him in a spot that he's not going to succeed at. Because when you put him in, again, more of that traditional role or even a non-slot corner role, he's been really, really good.
We also have enough case study evidence to show that there's other guys that aren't being utilized properly. So it might not be Shamari Connor that's the issue.
Yeah. We got to get back because we have to bring on Lee Sterling. We get to bring on Lee Sterling to talk the betting side of things with Paramount Sports. We'll do special teams and coaching on the other side. Is that okay?
Has he been naughty or nice?
Lee Sterling's been nice. He's been nice. We've been playing naughty or nice, but you know who's been real nice? FanDuel's been real nice because FanDuel Sportsbook is live in the Show Me state. They are kicking things off with an offer that's extremely tough to beat. Right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets, win or lose. Hey, you're late for a Christmas gift? You forgot? Give them some money and say, you got to put it in your FanDuel account. Could be a good idea. I'd take that. Darcy, you'd take that.
In a heartbeat.
Anyone would take that. So if you forget a gift, and give them the gift of FanDuel. That's the gift that I would love to receive because whether it's football, basketball, hockey, or more, you could bet it all on an app that's safe, secure, and super easy to use. So all you need to do is download FanDuel today or head to FanDuel.com/Missouri to join in on all the excitement. FanDuel right now is just profit boost after profit boost after profit boost during the holiday season. It has been so much fun on there. So, again, FanDuel today or FanDuel.com/Missouri. Because Missouri, it's time to play your game with FanDuel.
21 plus and present in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com.
who's going to win and by how much. You're about to find out from national sports handicapping champion Lee Sterling on The Zone. Log on to ParamountSports.com or call toll-free 800-400-9741 to get started.
Welcome back into The Zone on this. I guess listen, it's red. It's the Chiefs play tomorrow. It's Red Wednesday. It's Christmas Eve, all that stuff. It's Red Wednesday here on The Zone, and we've got Lee Sterling here because let me tell you something. We got our Christmas early around here, Lee, because we got legalized gambling in the state of Missouri December 1st, and it has been doubled down December all month for us, and I know it's always that when you get talking about it at ParamountSports.com.
It is. It's been a fun time over the years. Last year we went 21-10 in the bowls. We had a great year in the NFL. So double down December. Every game through December 31st, you're going to get a full week of action, actually 8 days. So you want to hop on board. Use coupon code SAVE100, just $197. And we have some big games coming up, a 40 to 50 unit max wager on a college bowl game, and also a 40 to 50 unit play in the NFL coming this weekend. So love to have everyone aboard, and like I said, it's a fun time of year.
Awesome. Let's get after it. We got some Christmas games for sure.
Yep.
Let's kick it off at also not the quarterbacks people thought were going to be playing, but listen, Dak will be playing. Dallas is a 7-point favorite at Washington, and they don't have Jaden Daniels. He's been shut down as well.
No. Yeah, and what's interesting about Dallas and Dak Prescott, whenever the lights are brightest, they end up failing. I mean, it's an epic fail, just like last week. But game means nothing really now, so they'll probably perform well. Dallas 7-2 straight up, 8-1 against the spread the last 9 meetings with the Commanders. In fact, Cowboys beat them 44-22 earlier this year. So, I mean, we're going to see Josh Johnson, another third stringer. There's a ton of third-string quarterbacks playing over the next 3 to 4 days. So he has not looked good at all. He's a turnover machine. So I'm going to back Dak here because game means absolutely nothing. I like Dallas big here, something like 34-21.
Well, we got some Saturday action as well. We've got the L.A. Chargers. This is a big one because they're fighting for that 1 seed. They're home against Houston, and Houston wasn't maybe great last week, but they got the job done, and these teams have both won a lot of games in a row.
Yeah, and they matched up here in the 2024 wild card game. Switching home fields here carries some playoff positioning meaning here with the 10-5 host Texans, 1 game behind the AFC South leader Jacksonville Jaguars. As the 11-4 Chargers, they've drawn closer here, 12-3 here. So the problem here is I think defense, is just so much better here for Houston. Last year's game, Justin Herbert threw 4 interceptions. He was sacked 4 times. The offensive line is worse than last year. He targeted slot receiver Ladd McConkey 14 times for 9 catches in that 32-13 wild card loss. He does have better receivers this year. Keenan Allen, Quentin Johnson here, both active this time around. But just think, even with Omarion Hampton here back in the fold here, they're going against the number 1 scoring defense, allowing just 16.6 points per game. And also, Denzel Perryman was suspended. I like Houston here, 23-20.
Yeah, that defense travels. It's really, really good for sure. And how about Pittsburgh? They're at Cleveland. Cleveland is playing the string up. They're trying, though. Listen, they want to try to win some games. We got sack records going around. But Aaron Rodgers has been getting the job done, and it looks like they're going to be the team in the North. But they still got to keep winning, right? You got to go clinch everything and get it all locked up.
Yeah, so I would never back Cleveland on the road. But, they are playing at home. No DK Metcalf here for Pittsburgh. Myles Garrett closing in on that sack record against, remember, a 40-plus-year-old quarterback whose mobility is certainly limited. Shedeur Sanders on the other side showing flashes here. And, home is the only place the Browns plus the points I would consider it. It worked against the Bills on Sunday. You always worry about Kevin Stefanski. How's he going to blow it here? But, you're getting a field goal here, and I just think Pittsburgh's one of these teams. They look great one week, and the next week they look terrible. They were on last week. They'll be off this week. Wrong team favored. Cleveland pulls the upset 17-16 over the Steelers. Steelers going to have to wait one more week to find out if they win the division.
Oh, that would be an exciting one if it goes that way for sure. Big game Sunday afternoon. The big national game is going to be Buffalo hosting Philadelphia. Big star power in this game. If Philly's already set in the playoffs, Buffalo is in the playoffs, but they still feel like they can win their division. And this is one of the games that you really want to sit down and have the whole country watch.
Yeah, it's a potential Super Bowl preview here. Both teams have given us plenty of reasons to expect great things from them, but also there's been some games you're just shaking your head and saying, is this the same team, we thought had a chance to go to the Super Bowl here? So home field, I think, is important here. Also, Jalen Hurts just doesn't look the same here. So I think that even though Buffalo's run defense isn't great, they're going to load up the box and make Hurts push the ball down the field here. The Eagles' defense, they look good on the surface here. It's great to be third in scoring defense, but they're actually 24th in yards per pass play allowed and 21st in yards per carry against, which is shocking here. A lot of bend but don't break here, but not exactly the mark here for an elite defense. So I just think that it's going to be cold, windy. That's what the forecast is for this game. And I favor Josh Allen here. Better quarterback, gets things done when it counts. Buffalo, 27-23 over the Eagles.
Well, there's not a cold Christmas in Kansas City. We're looking at like 60-some degrees, even though the Broncos-Chiefs game is going to be at night. This is like the biggest underdog the Chiefs have been at home since like the 70s. It's crazy, but that's what happens when you got the third-string quarterback going and all that. They have looked bad for a month. Everything's kind of fallen apart for them. But is like almost 2 touchdowns too much? I don't know. What do you think about the Chiefs and Broncos in this lump of coal we get on Christmas night?
Yeah, Amazon Prime probably not too happy about this matchup here. This kid, Chris Oladokun, seems like a nice kid, but this is the first meaningless home game here, like you said, since the 70s, and some of those teams were really bad. And I think they're going to hold out a ton of starters. They don't want to take a chance. If you want to take a chance to lose another couple starters for the next year, I don't think so. He was trying hard. He was a 7th-round pick by the Steelers in 2022. But, even when they were scoring, it was field goals. And you got to put the ball in the end zone. I just think it's going to be tough against the Denver defense that just did not play well last week. Let's be honest. So I think the Broncos' offense will be much better here, and just only because you're missing so many guys here, and there's nothing to play for. It's even less than an exhibition game getting ready for the season. I like Denver here, 26-10.
Yeah, it's going to be a lump of coal for a lot of folks. But, hey, that's what the season has been, especially this last month in Kansas City. No lump of coal, though, with your game of the week and Double Down December at Paramount Sports.
Yep, Jacksonville and Indianapolis, what a game this is. Jacksonville pulled the huge upset last week, and Denver, they're streaking towards, maybe having multiple home games here for the playoffs. So you want to get Jacksonville, Indianapolis, and see Old Man Rivers, who we've seen for seems like 25, 30 years. Again, just be one of the first 5 callers. We'll give you the game for free. Jacksonville, Indy for free. ParamountSports.com, and get on that Double Down December. Use coupon code SAVE100. Just $197. One place only. ParamountSports.com.
Great stuff, Lee. Good luck to you as we get these Christmas games going and all the bowl season going. Paramount Sports is the place to get it done. Thanks so much. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay, thanks.
That's Lee Sterling from Paramount Sports. The Zone will roll on this Red Wednesday with Sterling Holmes right after this on Sports Radio 810.
She's done the research.
I measured the big boys' booties for like 2 years.
She's analyzed the data.
If you can keep that big booty down, like if you are a big boy, if you're very tall and you can keep your booty down low, then you are far more successful.
She's crunched the numbers, and the results are clear.
The back of booty isn't as good, as it turns out.
If she picks a dog, she'll have the math to back it up.
It's not like Travis Kelce has done. My dog is very excited about this, just so you know.
It's Cynthia Freeland of NFL Network. Now in the zone with Jason Anderson on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
Welcome back to the Zone, Sports Radio 810 WHB. Sterling Holmes, Michael Dorsey, joined now. Cynthia Freeland of NFL Network. Cynthia, how are you?
A little wet over here in California. It's pouring rain, so no snow for us. But I guess the California version of a white Christmas is just a ton of rain.
Oh my God! I didn't think it rained in California. I didn't think that was a thing.
I didn't either, but when it does, it's crazy.
Yeah.
No one knows how to handle it.
No, because it happens 3 times a year. It's not a white Christmas here either, Cynthia. It is like 60 out here today. It's supposed to be 65 tomorrow. I'm supposed to open presents and hang with family, but the golf course is just tempting me. What am I supposed to do here?
I mean, you only live once. You gotta maybe do both, right? Figure out a way to do both.
Well, as long as I don't have to watch the Chiefs game, I guess that'll be okay, because that's going to be a debacle. I don't know, Cynthia. Can you talk us into at least some sort of nuance, some sort of off the ledge that has been this season for Kansas City? Because I just saw another stat, and you love stats, where the Chiefs were one of, I think, 7 teams with a positive offensive EPA and a negative defensive EPA, which you want to be negative for that side of things. And the other 6 teams are all playoff teams. So I'm just sitting here like, what happened?
Well, unfortunately for the Chiefs, sometimes you get the right side of the coin and you win these close ones and it looks a little different, and sometimes you get the flip side of that. And it's not to say that it's always going to be, last year was an anomaly in one way for close games, and then, law of large numbers does come back. It's just you can't exactly know when, right? Like you don't exactly know when the average is coming for you. But I think it's just got to remember everything's going to be okay. And if you keep unwinning games, then the good news is the draft pick becomes a little higher. So there are some silver linings here for sure.
Keep unwinning games. I like that. You've had some good ones on here, decidedly ungood and now unwinning games. I just
feel like it's like, I don't want to say losing, because is it really fair when you're on your third quarterback to be like, yep, they lost? Sure, you lost, but I don't know. It feels mean.
Well, sure, but part of me is sitting back here and I see Phillip Rivers, who's 44 and has not played in 5 years, go out, and I know they lost, but that was a close game up until, really the punt return or the fumble on the kickoff was a huge deciding factor in that game. But they put up 27 points. I'm sitting here going, the Chiefs can put up 9 against the vaunted Tennessee Titans. Part of me is just wondering, how did it get so bad so quick?
I feel like, the good news is we always talk about the difference between Team 1 and Team 32 is a lot smaller than it may seem on a week-to-week basis, because, of course, you see the outcome of a specific game, and there's nuances to each game is its own story with, what happens in each particular quarter. But ultimately, you're looking at a situation where I don't think any of those players were like, I played my best game. I think they did. The circumstances, the momentum was heavy. You now lose your second quarterback in as many quarters, and it's going to be harder to navigate. It just is.
Yeah. Cynthia Freeland is our guest. When we look at the slate of Christmas games, not quite as exciting as I think we were hoping it was going to be before the season started. Any game you're looking forward to the most? Any takeaways you have starting tomorrow?
Well, the only one that has some consequences, I guess, would be, obviously, the Lions are technically in it still. Yeah. I'm curious to see what happens against Max Rosmer. That's not a very compelling matchup. I'm not being, I don't think I'm saying anything crazy there. But I'm looking also at, how does Denver's defense look after last week, which was weird, against Trevor Lawrence, who made them look great. like it made them look like not the defense that they are typically used to being. So I'm just thinking, as bad as the games are Thursday, we get 2 bangers on Saturday.
That is very, very fair. When you look at the NFL just in totality this year, like I've said, even as a Chiefs media and then Chiefs fan as well, yeah, it sucks the Chiefs aren't in it. But just as a general NFL fan, this to me seems the most wide open the playoffs have been in 7 years. Like, this is actually fun. I think any team has a legitimate chance of winning, which in most years it's, okay, you have the Chiefs, you have the Bills, and maybe you have the Bengals in the AFC. NFC had been basically Eagles or San Francisco. I know San Fran's in it. I know the Eagles are in it, but they're not this dominant team. From the outsider's perspective here, Cynthia, how great and wide open is the NFL playoffs?
You know, I've been getting into very smart conversations with former players about, is it better to have the bye or not? Because some of these young quarterbacks involved, like, does Drake May benefit from a bye or not? Right? Like that. Those are the types of things where I don't have an answer, because usually you have a Patrick Mahomes or a few versions of like Josh Allen, et cetera, where that would really benefit them because they're mature players who have a great understanding of the game and don't necessarily need that extra week of we just saw we can win, we need to keep the train rolling. So, and I've never really had those conversations before because the need to get healthier has always outweighed the potential for, losing the steam from the train.
So when you've talked to folks like that, what have they mostly said?
It has been a mixed bag. I think for most people, everyone's like, well, if it was Josh Allen, but he's not in a position to really, I guess technically they could still get the bye, but, I think it's less than 1% chance that happens. So, the reality is I don't know, does it help Denver? Or does it help the New England Patriots? Both have young quarterbacks, perhaps, and well enough seasoned coaches that they have an understanding of what it's going to take. So it's been pretty mixed bag.
Bigger surprise for you this year, Cynthia, in the AFC, the Patriots doing what they have done at 12-3, or the Jacksonville Jaguars at 11-4?
I think the Jags, because the way it started did not look like that. O-line was good for a minute, and then it was terrible, and then now they figured it out. So I think the Jags are a bigger surprise. New England had a much easier schedule, so I'm not, giving them a pass, but it just felt like with the Jags, you were kind of facing an uphill battle, and the Texans were at least coming out of it clearly the one to beat, blah, 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 blah. Maybe there still are, but the Jags have really surprised.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think the Jaguars, to me, even in that Chiefs game, it felt like everything had to go right for Jacksonville to get that win. It just felt very fluky, yet when you win 6 straight games, I don't think you can really sit back and say that it is a fluke. For the Buffalo Bills, how much pressure is on not just Josh Allen and Sean McDermott? We know that overall, but if they don't win the Super Bowl this year, or at least get to the Super Bowl, how good of a chance is Sean McDermott not coming back next year, just in reality?
It's a wild statement. Can you imagine that? Here's the thing. They're opening a new stadium. They have some concerns that are not necessarily normal year-over-year concerns that we see. And they have big expectations. And when you're paying Josh Allen and you have, that superstar, they will find someone to blame if not. Now, is it going to be Sean? I don't know. But I think the threat of it is real. I don't think they're sitting there being like, just kidding. Just go as far as you can. No worries. I don't think that's the case.
Yeah, to me, it's a little almost college football-esque with Sean McDermott, which you don't see a ton in the NFL. Ryan Day, for example, with Ohio State, when they had, was that last year? If they didn't win, there was talk of him being fired, and then he won, and of course now things are great. You look at James Franklin for Penn State. They make the semifinals. They have a rough start to the year. He's fired. I know college and NFL are different, but it does feel like Buffalo, just with Sean McDermott, is in a lot different conversation than a lot of teams, especially with no Patrick, no Joe Burrow, and no Lamar Jackson in the playoffs. This feels like it has to be the Bills' year, which leads me to this question here, Cynthia. Is it the Bills' year?
I don't know. Their defense has a lot left to be desired. Now, can Matt Judon come in and help them out, the pass rush? Sure. Is he going to stop the run? That's going to be the trick. If they can stop the run, they'll be fine. They don't need to fully stop it. They don't need to become the best team in the league against the run. But they need to be better, because that's dangerous. If you're allowing a playoff team to run for a lot of time and a lot of yards, you just got to shoot yourself in the foot when it comes to winning.
Yeah. Cynthia Freeland of NFL Network is our guest. Do you believe in the Bears? Are they for real?
I think it's a little early. I'm not suggesting that they won't be or that they aren't onto something great, but I feel like, if Jordan Love would have been playing, I know Malik Willis played well. If, you have these things where you're like, all right, of course, luck does matter, and they did win the game. I'm not taking anything away from them in any regard like that, but you look at their defense, and again, being able to stop the run is huge. They really rely on turnovers, which can be fickle.
I find this interesting, and from your perspective, obviously, you get very deep into the numbers here, Cynthia. You are a data scientist. You dive in deep. And point differential is not the best way of doing things, but when you do look at their point differential of plus 33, that's lower than the Chiefs' point differential. That is just, you look at other teams who have around that number, the Seahawks plus 164, San Fran plus 72, Rams plus 158. Those are teams with 11 and 12 wins. The Bears with 11 wins, and they're plus 33. Do you look at point differential? Is that something that you use as a data point, or is that just a outlier to you?
No, it's definitely a relevant data point. Now, none of those, just as you mentioned, nothing in a vacuum is like, there's no one number that's like, this is it, this is the one, because winning close games matters. It doesn't matter. At the end, they count the same, whether you win by 30 or you win by 1. So ultimately, I'm looking at the potential in these games for, well, how did that point differential staying so close happen? And in the majority of instances this season, it's because the Bears have had an interception. And interceptions, they're just hard to live by. I understand, like, certain defenses, the way that they're structured, projects for a better possibility for an interception. But relying on them becomes hard, because what happens if a quarterback, a team gets throwing the ball anymore? Now you're relying on an offense where your quarterback doesn't have the most reliable completion percentage, for example. And so the numbers, go down this rabbit hole and see what you can learn.
Yeah. When it comes to the NFC South here, Cynthia, no one wants to win. I think they're just
nope, no one wants to win.
They're just playing for fun. It's just going out and playing with some guys, just hanging around. Do the Panthers win? What happened to Tampa Bay? It felt like it was locked up, and then they just choked.
I think they're like, ha, 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 we get to play Miami, and you have to play Seattle. I'm not sure what's going on there, but they certainly could win. Do I think they're ready to compete in the playoffs? No. But I don't know if Tampa Bay this year is either, based on what we've seen from them.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to Tampa. I really don't. I know Baker's been banged up at times. I understand the receivers have been banged up at times. I get the maneuvering, but you're also in the NFC South. You play the Saints, the Falcons, and obviously the Panthers, which right now are your contemporary, which you think you're better than. I guess I'm almost more surprised by Tampa Bay, what they've done, than almost by what the Chiefs have done this year. Like, Tampa Bay, to me, their fall off in the NFC South with the relatively light schedule has been perplexing. Just overall here, Cynthia, in the NFC, who comes out? Who looks good to you when it comes to playoff time? Who do you trust?
I think the winner of the NFC West. I think that's an interesting conference in general, the NFC, because it feels like the Eagles, it feels like it's only the West. Like, that division, I could see a logo for the Super Bowl with all three of those teams on it. And I don't feel as, the Eagles don't feel like the same team. We'll see this week. We'll see how they look against the Bills this week. That's a good test. But I don't know what I think about the Eagles. They've been super up and down. But we've seen some crazy battles from all of the Rams, the Niners, and the Seahawks. And the winner of that, to me, and I actually do think a Matthew Stafford would benefit from the bye based on his, seniority and how long he's been in the league, and Devontae Adams getting a little healthier, et cetera. So I think that team, if the Rams were to pull it off, that would benefit them. Whereas some of the other ones, I don't know, because they're so young. The Seahawks are so young. The Niners, of course, are super banged up. Have they played together enough this year? I don't know. There's a lot of interesting data points this year.
When you look at some of the underlying numbers just in the totality of the season, what has surprised you the most so far?
Whew, that's a great question. I think this year we've really reached the point where, the teams that are able to field a defense that has a good balance of, typically it's all right, this is a man defense, they're going to play stronger, et cetera. But, there has to be, now with all these different run looks, we for a long time it was only outside zone, and then we ran to the inside. You need to be able to be, especially in the red area after the push, et cetera, you need to be able to be really, really good with your defensive backs, meaning there's a huge advantage for the teams who can get pressure with only 4 without having to blitz, because the advantage of dropping a guy back into coverage this specific season has felt, and the numbers bear it out, that it's more advantageous than, at least in the past 3 seasons. I haven't had a chance to go back much further than that, but at least over the past, I would probably say 4 seasons, so of the past 5 years, if you can get pressure very well without blitzing, you have an advantage.
So, Cynthia, that is exactly what, I don't know if Chiefs fans want to hear it, but it's what I think Chiefs fans, we all need to hear. And it's what the understanding has been this season of the Chiefs secondary has been pretty darn good. The Chiefs linebackers have been pretty darn good. The Chiefs pass rush has been atrocious. And the issue is they cannot get pressure with 4. So Spags, who we all think is a genius, at least I think that he is one of the best DCs still in the NFL.
Yes.
He has to send extra guys. But he's also making it harder on himself because the guys he covets on the defensive line have to fit a certain Spags scheme. He likes guys that set the edge. Do you see a transition here, maybe on the defensive line and even the styles of play? I don't know if your numbers can even get into this here, but as far as maybe instead of the bigger-bodied run stuffers, maybe the more Nick Bonito types, because that's where it seems like the NFL is starting to head when it comes to the defensive line, specifically edge rushers here.
I mean, the reality is what's coming out of college. What's available in the marketplace, because you can't mold Chris Jones out of a random college player, right? They just don't grow on trees like that. So you have to see who's coming out of college, how they're playing. I will say it's going to be fascinating in the next couple of seasons to see how, people are being able to evaluate or not evaluate players with all the transition in the transfer portal. I've been talking to players a lot about this too. Their offense is thin. I don't know about how versatile. So I'm perhaps it'll switch back to just bruisers who, where's a good 3 technique? Anyone? Where are the nose tackles at? Who knows? Because I'm so interested to see how that all, because, again, we only have a supply of who's coming out of, things have just very much changed.
Yeah. Again, the NFL is cyclical, and we saw the change when it comes to running the football. Obviously, I think that's been a big talking point. And with defenses getting lighter, it's easier to run the football. But then we'll see a shift, and we'll see more run stuffers, which means you'll have to go back to passing the football. Again, that is the chess match between OCs and DCs every single year. As the game itself pertains to Broncos, Chiefs at Arrowhead, anything you're intrigued about in this game? Anything where your numbers, 13.5 is the spread, over under is 36.5. What are you thinking here?
I think it's a low scoring game in general. I think even though 36.5 implies a very low score, I think, it doesn't necessarily need to top that. I think we'll see some defensive principles. The 2 defenses are the strongest units in this game. I'm curious to see Bo Nix's evolution as a passer. I also I feel like perhaps if you're a Chiefs fan, one of the things you're watching for is here are the ways to make a point on why Trent McDuffie should get paid. Here's my PowerPoint presentation on that. So that could be something to watch for in this about, the difference when he's there and when he's not there, et cetera. So, I think that's a fascinating one. And I always have to shout out, I feel like nationally Drew Tranquill doesn't get enough love for just being the meathead everybody needs. He's in on every play, doesn't let anyone get past him. I don't know if his name gets said enough amongst all of the other greats on the Chiefs. So perhaps some of the unsung heroes here get a chance to shine a little bit.
By the way, Cynthia, in the first hour, we did a naughty or nice list with Chiefs players and who's getting presents, basically, and who's getting coal. And that was a talking point was Drew Tranquill. He was on the nice list and how he's a little underrated and undervalued
Super
at
underrated.
times. So,
super underrated. And like I said, he's the meathead we all need. He's in on every play. I have never seen him take a play off. So I watch every single snap. So it's just sometimes you gotta appreciate what you have.
Cynthia Freeland of NFL Network, we appreciate you. Before we let you go, obviously, 'tis the holiday season, Christmas Eve right here. Do you have a favorite Christmas album or song?
Ooh, I mean, I like a lot of the classics. I like, when I go to Spotify, I go to like the acoustic Christmas mix because I like it to be a little bit more chill. But I will say, the movie situation is very important to me in this one, and so I've been saving National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation because it doesn't get better than that.
That is a great call. Die Hard, is it or is it not a Christmas movie?
It is, but it's very frustrating to watch that. I love that movie, but the amount of dirt on his tank top being different in certain scenes drives me insane. So I have a hard time with that sometimes. I don't know if anyone else has noticed that, but it's like sometimes it's dirty and then the next scene it's clean. Like, come on, guys, we know you're filming a movie, but we need to suspend disbelief here.
So I think it was either Friday or Monday. I said the exact same thing on air. I'm not kidding you.
Are we twins?
We might be twins, Cynthia. There's a distinct possibility because I'm sitting here going, and even when he was going through the air duct, it comes out and it's completely brown. Like, it wouldn't be completely, like, there'd be splotches, obviously, but it wouldn't just be a different color. What are we doing here? That's my main thing. Not the fact that a guy was hung by a chain for like 7 minutes and was somehow okay. I can believe that. It's the tank top that gets me. It's a tank top. Thank you, Cynthia. I didn't mean to get all heated there on you, but it happens.
I like it. I like the passion. I'm into it.
This is the Drew Tranquil, if you will, of the show. This is the meathead of me coming out. Cynthia,
I love it.
Happy holidays. Merry Christmas.
Happy holidays.
Have a good one.
You too.
Cynthia Freeland, NFL Network. We will come back. We will take a break. The Zone, Sports Radio 810 WHB.
Men, if you're out there and you happen to be suffering from erectile dysfunction, now is the time to get it done and figured out. Give yourself that gift. Look, there are stressful times going on. You've got schedules and parties and everything going on with family and significant others, and that can just add to the stress, which could make the problem even worse. There are many conditions that can cause ED. It is not just one thing that takes place. Maybe you've tried the pills or the herbals and they have failed to try to alleviate some of those symptoms. Well, then check out Heartland Men's Health if that happens, or maybe you haven't tried anything and you want to figure out what's going on. Again, Heartland Men's Health. Treatments that work when the pills or the herbals fail. Treatments with success rates well over 90%. They have been successfully treating men in the Kansas City area. Here's what you do. Schedule a consult with Heartland Men's Health today. Your initial visit, it's only $99. That includes that medical consult with a licensed medical provider, a T and PSA test, and if medically advised a test dose. And if the test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit's free. You don't pay a dime. If it does, there you go. An expert staff with 3 locations to serve you: Overland Park, Independence, between Blue Springs and Lee Summit, and North Kansas City. Call them today at 844-447-6600. Tell them you heard about it right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB, 844-447-6600, or visit heartlandmenshealth.com.
Welcome back to the Zone, Sports Radio 810 WHB. Sterling Holmes, Michael Darcy. Thank you again to Cynthia Freeland, data scientist for NFL Network. I like the defensive line info she gave. I mean, it's not breaking news, but it does show that the importance of getting pressure with 4 is vast, and how she was even alluding to maybe even more this year than in previous seasons. And the Chiefs just aren't able to do this. If you want to find one reason why, at least defensively, they had any struggles, it's that. That's the main reason, because the secondary is really good. The linebacking core is really good. I love that Drew Tranquill even got a good shout out from her. Again, I think Drew Tranquill has been an underrated piece. I think even this year, and I was a guy who was questioning heading into this season, would he be a guy that takes a step back? And I don't think so. And we'll find out how the monetary value will get dispersed with Leo and Drew. And, there's obviously a lot of money to be saved if you move on from Drew, but does an extension make sense? What is Leo going to get on the open market? Obviously, it's difficult when you have Nick Bolton getting paid a good chunk of change, and I think he's been worth it this year. I think Nick Bolton's been really good this season. I know folks have their own viewpoints on him. I understand the coverage aspect of things, but the unknown of Jeffrey Bassa has really made things hard for me to give a great take one way or the other. And maybe that's the take I should have, is if Jeffrey Bassa is not going to play, does that mean they don't trust him? I get he's a rookie. I understand that. But if you don't play him at all, that leads me to believe, if you're playing Jack Cochran and Cooper McDonald over him, what does that lead me to believe?
You should almost operate like Jeffrey Bassa is not a part of the future. And I'd almost do the same with Jalen Royals, because until they play these guys, they're not part of the future. And if you're seeing an elderly Juju Smith-Schuster and Jack Cochran get snaps over 2025 draft picks, then I think it's safe to assume that there's something going on. And I was actually going to ask you this question. Cynthia brought up the lack of pressure with the front 4. Do you think the Chiefs were depending on Charles Omenihu and Mike Dana taking a next step, and George Karlaftis as well? I just can't understand how they saw what they had and they just were like, all right, we're good with this. We think it's going to be good.
I don't think Mike Dana, no. I think they kind of knew who he was. I think Charles Omenihu, yes, especially with the amount of smack he talked on Twitter in the offseason. I mean, just perpetual smack, disrespected, all this stuff.
Is he the biggest loser of this season in terms of
monetary?
Yes,
value?
monetarily.
Monetary value-wise, maybe.
It might be Trent McDuffie just in pure number terms, because, we were talking about him getting $30+ million a year, and he's still going to get a lot of money, but
close.
Charles Omenihu might have been a $10 million a year pass rusher, so his value might have cut in half, but Trent McDuffie is going from making like $30 million to like maybe 28.
Yeah. Omenihu is the intriguing one of, if he came back and looked like the guy he has shown in bursts over the past couple seasons, that, he might be that 10 to 15-ish million dollar pass rusher a year. And now I don't know, does he even make a roster on another team?
Not with the resume that he's put out so far. And that's why when we talk about, are these guys going to try hard on Christmas? Are they going to try hard in Week 18? If you're Charles Omenihu, you're fighting for a roster spot next year.
Yeah, they're going to try hard. I don't have any concern by that for that exact reason. Those guys, Gelati wants to prove that he deserves a starting role. Jaden Hicks, Brian Cook, Jalen Watson, all those guys are fighting for jobs. I know there's some injuries, obviously, but just in general speaking here, wide receivers, even if you're Juju, right, you're at least trying to say, hey, if I'm not back in KC or Hollywood, I want to be picked up somewhere, right? And same with Pacheco, and we'll find out, obviously, but at some point, you got to rip the Band-Aid off. And maybe that's the one that bothers me more than, like, the Jeffrey Bassa one, okay, he plays the Drew Tranquill-ish role is what we expect. So if that's the case, he might not fill in for Leo. Like, you can at least talk yourself into why you didn't see Jeffrey Bassa. Do I like it? Do I think it's a great reason? No, not really. But could I talk myself into why we didn't see him? Yeah, you could find a small sliver. Jalen Royals, I have a hard time talking myself into why we didn't see him. Quite frankly, I do. Rashard Smith, I have no understanding. That one I just don't get at all. You gave him how many carries against the Raiders? What was it, the Raiders the first time around? Who they blow out and he played?
It was in garbage time against the Raiders, and Gardner Minshew did not throw a pass. He just handed the ball off.
And I get it. The point I'm making here is that was garbage time in a game that didn't matter. You had garbage time in a game that didn't matter against the Titans.
None of these games matter. It's all garbage time.
But yes, but even more so. You were down 14 in the fourth quarter, and you're still having Pacheco in a CMC role, or Kareem Hunt's out there. At some point, what are you doing? You gave him 14 carries. 14 carries. What is that week? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Week 7 of the season, you gave him 14 carries. You gave him 3 carries the next week. 3 following that, and then it was, we're just not going to use Rashard Smith. I'm not saying Rashard Smith is the savior. I'm not even saying I think Rashard Smith should be the guy next year. But don't you want to see? I want to see, and maybe this is selfish, but I think a lot of Chiefs fans want to see as well. Can he be your third down back? Can he be a receiving threat out of the backfield? Can he be a little like Jerick McKinnon, where he's not your bell cow? Quite frankly, there are not really many bell cows in the NFL in general. There's a handful. But can he be a guy that gets 5 carries a game and 3 targets a game? Can he get about 8 touches a game? Can he be that guy? I'm not asking for a lot here. I'm not asking for superstar status. I'm not asking for 20. Can he get 8 touches? 8!
With Chris Oladokun as the starting quarterback, can he get 8 touches on Christmas? You know, it kind of goes back to talking about Andy Reid, the offensive mastermind. We get told about how complicated his offense is, and I don't doubt that. But here's the issue. When your offense is one of the worst in the NFL for 3 consecutive seasons, maybe you need to dumb it down and give guys a chance to just go out there and play. What's the worst that's going to happen if you have Jalen Royals just run a couple simple routes? See if he can get open. We don't know if he can get open, Sterling. We don't know what Rashard Smith can do when he gets 10 touches a game, whether it's catching the ball or running the ball. There's so much of an unknown, and you want to go back to a case study that shows the Chiefs were wrong? Look at Asa Polle. They cut him. They let him go to the Jets. He survived New York, came back, and when he filled in for the injured Wanya Morris, he was very serviceable, and they let him go for nothing.
That one's always going to be a tough one for me. They were the ones that identified him and brought him in. I was very high on him. We can look back at the tweets. I was devastated when he left. That was like a whole situation that I had on. I thought he was going to be he was my surprise guy to make the roster. Then he goes to the Jets. Well, then the Jets also moved on from him. So you got to give the Chiefs credit in one instance for bringing him in originally, bringing him back, and then playing him. But also, you're right. You have to give him the same uncredit for saying, hey, I get it. Maybe they thought they could sneak him in the practice squad. No one's going to take a shot at him. I get all that stuff.
But I think you can take away their credit because he wouldn't have played unless Wanya Morris got hurt.
Sure. Also true. Also true. I wanted to look this up. Do you know how many 15-yard receptions Kareem Hunt has this year?
15
plus
receptions. How many receptions does he have on the year?
Oh, I don't know. He's about 15 to 20 probably. Let me look it up.
I'll just say
he's got 15.
Oh, I'll say 1.
He's got 1. Isaiah Pacheco. Do you know how many 15-yard plus catches he has on the season?
I think he had one against...
He has 19 receptions.
I remember that one in the preseason that looked nice. Honestly, Kareem Hunt's been their bigger play guy. I'll say none.
1 last week.
Oh
he had that one last week against the Titans. Do you want to guess how many 15-plus yards receptions that Brashard Smith has?
Is it crazy for me to say 3?
4.
Oh.
4. He has 4. I mean, what are we doing here? This is not me trying to big brain and say, hey, he's already proven to be more explosive as a pass catcher than Pacheco or Kareem Hunt. 4.
With a third of the workload, maybe less.
And a lot of it came in that game against the Raiders. Like, this is what is almost frustrating. And again, I'm sorry I'm going on a tangent, and we'll move on, but they trusted Brashard Smith more earlier in the year, into the midpoint of the season, than they do now. What happened? Again, are they this is my point. Are they telling us they don't think he's a running back? Are they telling us they don't think he's part of the future? Because if you're playing him against the Raiders in a blowout, but you won't play him when the season doesn't matter, either you saw what you needed to see, which in this case would be bad, saying, hey, you don't think he's the guy. I'm not saying he's blown me away with his running ability. I'm not saying I've seen a lot of excitement. But even as a pass catcher, we've seen more explosion from him than Pacheco and Kareem Hunt combined.
It makes you wonder if one of the biggest issues that we've talked about for years now with this coaching staff is loyalty over talent. And I think Andy Reid wants to give Pacheco a chance to put out good tape so another team can sign him this offseason. There's no other way to explain it, because against the Titans, where you're already mathematically eliminated, you don't have QB1 or QB2 after the first 5 snaps, there should be every reason in the world to give Brashard Smith 10 carries. Pacheco, you can give him 10 carries as well, but it was the Isaiah Pacheco show, and we learned nothing new on Sunday. So I think it's really a loyalty to a fault.
And we'll find out. We heard Spags talk about the wanting to try and get Bossa out there. We heard Nagy talk about, I think it was Nagy, talk about how he wanted to see Royals and what he could do out there. So we'll find out. Maybe this is the week. Maybe they just wanted to wait a week because the Titans wasn't that game. We'll find out if the Broncos will be that game. We'll take a break. We'll come back. The Zone, Sports Radio 810 WHB. FanDuel Sportsbook is live in the Show Me State. They are kicking things off with a phenomenal offer. This is just a great offer, because right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets, win or lose. So whether it's football, basketball, hockey, or more, you can bet it all on an app that's safe, secure, and super easy to use. They've been great during the holiday season for existing customers as well. They've had these great profit boosts. They've had these fun little games when you hop on every single day where they give you 4 cards, you pick a random card, and boom, there's your reward for the day, your profit boost for the day. I've been really enjoying it. I've been doing a lot with the NBA. I was talking to Darcy about that. NBA has been very, very good to me. Had a lot of fun. Josh Giddey, shout out to Josh Giddey, really helped me last night. The Bulls guard, he had a little triple double last night, huh? A little triple double action. You know who threw something down on that? This guy did, right there on FanDuel. So all you need to do is download FanDuel today or head to FanDuel.com/Missouri and join in on all the excitement. Because Missouri, it's time to play your game with FanDuel.
21 plus and present in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com.
I thought I had more time, Darcy. That protein bar is very chewy. It's caramel cashew. And, yeah, I thought I had more time. I thought the break was longer.
It's a little Christmas Eve short break.
Yeah, I got some caramel now, just maneuvering around. All right. Verderame joins us at 12:30. Mick Schaefer in the 1 o'clock. I want to get your thoughts on this, Darcy. I don't want to talk Mizzou basketball. I just don't. They're just too bad to talk about. They're an abomination right now. You lose by 43. Sorry, we're not going to talk about you. Embarrassing. Jayhawks. Big 12 play gets underway. What is that? The 3rd. You have a nice little 9-day break. 9 days. How do you view Kansas heading into Big 12 play, what they've done so far? Obviously, you're the KU guy. How do you view them heading into Big 12 play?
I've been pretty impressed by what I've seen so far from this Kansas team without their star player in Darren Peterson, because coming into this season, I thought that Darren Peterson was going to be the guy that made everything work. And if he's not on the court, then you're going to have a problem and you're going to be very mediocre. But this team can defend. You've gotten impressive offensive outputs at times by guys like Melvin Council and Trey White. I do think that this team can compete in the Big 12. Now, the Big 12 is a gauntlet, but the question is going to be, is Darren Peterson going to play at all in conference play? You know, we talked about this a little bit yesterday, and you talked about it with Myron Metcalf. There's a little bit more to this situation than just, oh, Bill Self is just holding him out because he's not 100% ready to go. The family's involved. It feels very Joel Embiid at Kansas-esque, where he was dealing with an injury and he kind of got shut down a little bit. I'm not sure if we see Darren Peterson play more than 2 or 3 games the rest of his time at Kansas.
I think the Iowa State game's the game I would as the, if he plays and comes back for Iowa State, I think he's back. If he doesn't come back for that game, I think you're probably looking more or less like a shutdown situation. And that's January 13th. Now, we'll see with the injury, but if you're not 100% in, 18 days, you're then playing Iowa State. That's going to be a huge game. Right now, Iowa State's currently 3rd in the nation. That'll be at Allen Fieldhouse. To me, if you don't come back for that in 18 days, you're probably done for the year.
And if he doesn't play in conference play, I don't think he should come back for the NCAA tournament. I doubt that his camp would want him to play in the tourney, but I think if you're Bill Self, and whether or not, because I don't even think that this is Darren Peterson's decision. I think there's his camp and the people around him are telling him, hey man, you're going to make $100 million in the NBA. We need you to get there. Stay healthy. But to your point, and you've said this all along, and I couldn't agree more, you're not a lock to be the number 1 overall pick. I wouldn't take him number 1 overall. I haven't seen him play. I would take Boozer. I would take, AJ from BYU, because at least you're seeing them dominate at the collegiate level. And when Darren Peterson's out there, he's smooth, but he hasn't been out there all that much.
And I guess for me, the pushback I've given to this Darren Peterson saga is, Michael Porter Jr. had injuries, back injury, much more serious, the back injury, all that stuff. He came back for the tournament, played not great, but we all respected him for coming back and playing, but he didn't get picked until, 15th? But if you want to talk about money lost, he signed a 5-year, $179.3 million contract that can reach up to $207 million. I don't think he's hurting. Like, if you're that concerned about your NBA and the contracts, I think Michael Porter Jr. is the guy you look at and say, well, should you be? As long as you can prove that you can get healthy in the NBA and that you're a good player, that's what matters most. So this Darren Peterson situation is just, it's perplexing. I did not think it would go on this long. We'll take a break. We'll come back. More Zone. Welcome back to the Zone, Sports Radio 810 WHB. Sterling Holmes, Michael Darcy, Matt Verderam of SI joins at 12:30. Mick Schaefer joins at 1 on this glorious Christmas Eve. Do you have any Christmas traditions you do, Darcy?
Not really. You know, Myron Metcalf yesterday talked about watching It's a Wonderful Life. That's a top-tier Christmas movie.
Oh, yeah.
Die Hard, top-tier Christmas movie.
Correct.
It will be on my television tonight. I will be watching Die Hard and honestly just relaxing.
Elf.
Classic.
Yeah, I agree. Some people are not big Elf people, and I don't get it.
Home Alone.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
Okay. There's some people that do not like it and don't think it's a Christmas movie, which...
Well, Home Alone, let me say this. If the robbers were any sort of astute people, that movie's over in 7 minutes.
Sure.
Also, how do you lose your kid? Like, there's
that's malpractice.
You have to stop the space-time continuum to believe a lot of those things, but still a good movie. Like, you lose them. Like, I know it's chaotic. I get it was a chaotic morning, obviously. But you lose your kid?
I'll tell you what, they lost their kid multiple times. There's sequels. There's prequels.
You're right. They keep losing their kid. At some point, Child Services needs to get involved.
It's bad. I mean, again, they made 4 movies about it.
You lose your kid 4 times. That's now I think you're doing it on purpose.
And this isn't like we were at the library and we got lost. No, you left the country.
You left the
States.
country without your kid. And it took you that long until you were like there before you realized. I mean, that's just. And then again, the robbers. What do? You let that kid just outsmart you? I mean, yeah, there were some pretty clever pranks that Kevin pulled, but like, if you're getting fooled by this 8-year-old, you shouldn't be robbing houses. You shouldn't be either way. I'm gonna go ahead and stop. You shouldn't be doing that either way. But like, if you're gonna get outsmarted by an 8-year-old child, you're in the wrong line of business.
Are they the wet bandits or the sticky bandits? I think they're both. In one movie, they were the wet bandits, and then they transitioned to the sticky bandits, or vice versa.
They're the bad bandits. They are in over their head.
They definitely did not know
Imagine
when
if
to
they
quit.
faced like a 30-year-old guy. They'd be screwed.
Thank goodness none of them were home.
Yeah, I guess they weren't home alone. Or maybe they were, it just wasn't put into a movie.
The abandonment issues that child is going to have when he grows
4
up.
times. 4 times. All right, you brought this up in the break there. We never finished our naughty or nice list. And in honor of Christmas Eve, we have to finish the naughty or nice list. It's a requirement. Santa told me I had to. And his elves. All right. Special teams. Harrison Butker. What side of the list does Harrison Butker fall on?
He's naughty. He's naughty. He's missed the most kicks from any kicker in the NFL. He's the highest paid kicker in the league, too. I think he's naughty.
Extremely. He's, I would dare say, bad this year. And you're not moving on from him. The contract won't allow. It's more money to cut him than to keep him next year. You hope that he bounces back. I understand that a lot of the kicks were missed 50-yarders. I get that. But, like, that's what you're paid to do. You're the highest paid kicker in the NFL. We're not talking about a guy who's on a rookie deal. We're not talking about a, $1.5 million a year kicker. We're talking, what's it, 6.4 mil? Highest paid kicker in the NFL? I expect you to make the 30, 40, and 40-yarders. If you miss those, we have a different conversation. But if you're missing 50-yarders, that's what the money's for. I don't like the excuses of, he makes the easy ones.
You should.
Sure. 98% of kickers in the NFL make the easy ones. You're paid to be Brandon Aubrey. And you're not.
And the weird thing is that you pretty much know when a kicker's done, like whether it's, confidence or they lose leg strength. he hasn't lost any leg strength. It's just the accuracy. It's all over the place.
Yeah, you're right, because left, it's right, it's a little bit of both. And again, him trying to adjust his kicking motion, I'm sure had a lot to do with it. I know it's difficult. I'm not saying he's not a hard worker. We saw him at training camp and all that stuff, and first one out there all the time, and a couple hours before. You're not giving up on Butker. The contract's not letting you. You can't. But two, I think the track record would show you're probably not giving up on Butker either way. You got one more year, for sure. It has to get figured out. And at some point, you almost hate saying it, but if you were a much better kicker when you were collapsing, even though there might be a chance for down the road of an injury, the potential risk of an injury, I know it's for him to decide and the team to decide, but at some point, is it worth it? Because it might be. I'm not saying you play to get injured, but you might sometimes do things that have a higher risk of injury than others because that makes you the best at what you do. Because when he was collapsing, he was a top 3 kicker in the NFL.
He also collapsed for years and got injured a couple times later on, but he kicked for a while without getting injured like that.
So we'll see. We'll find out. But Butker's this year on the naughty list. Not a good enough kicker, especially for the money. Matt Ariza.
I think he's been extremely nice.
Yeah.
This was a guy coming into this year that had a big leg and could punt the ball far, but there really wasn't a lot of touch. You pair the great special teams performances from Kevin Knowles with Matt Ariza. I mean, they have really done a good job this year. That's the one aspect of special teams that I'm pretty pleased with.
Yeah, I would agree. I think that Ariza, because I was harsh on him last year and then in training camp into this year, I go, Matt Ariza has to get it figured out or else you can move on. I mean, it's not like it's a large contract. We know about the leg strength, but the inconsistencies you just can't have. They brought in a punter, remember, in training camp. I think it was a Groza winner.
It was the USC punter. He was the Ray Guy Award winner in college.
Oh, yeah, the punter award. Yeah, not the kicker. Ray Guy Award. And
Eddie Chaplicki, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it was a fun name to say. And that was, I think, was going to be a legit battle. And Ariza has proved why they stuck with him. Ariza, on 47 punts this year, you don't know how many touchbacks he has?
On 47 punts?
47 punts.
5?
1.
Wow.
He has 21 punts inside the 20, 1 touchback. So just for some percentages from last year to this year, last year, he had 9 touchbacks, which was a percentage of 14.5% of his punts were touchbacks. This year, it's 2.1%. Last year, 40.3% in the 20, inside the 20. This year, 44.7%. He has improved dramatically. And I think Matt Ariza deserves a lot of credit just, again, working on that. Because it's been noticeable how much better he's been.
Well, and just with how far he can punt the football, you're starting to see that accuracy and not putting the ball in the end zone. I mean, we talked about Charles Omenihu maybe losing the most money. He might have gained the most money this year just by how much he is, developed as a punter.
What do you get a punter for Christmas? He's on the nice list. So what
socks?
So another sock guy?
I think he could use them though.
He could use socks. I'll give him some socks. Thick socks. Got to give him those. All right, coaching staff. Naughty or nice coaching staff. Andy Reid.
Naughty. Incredibly naughty. So naughty it's not even funny. Do I need to go further?
No, you can just go ahead and mark that. Yeah, I don't argue. I know Petro was giving me a little bit of a hard time yesterday with me and the theme of talking about the scheme and how outdated and antiquated it is. I just believe it. I know you've heard me talk about it many a time. It's because I think it's true. I just think that schematically it's the same we've seen since 2022 with the RPOs. I think we've seen not putting the players in the best possible spot to succeed. And that's a rare thing with Andy Reid. When I talk about all this, I'm not saying fire Andy. I'm just saying I think that he needs to adjust. I'm not saying I know more than Andy Reid. I don't have the rings on my hands. I don't have an issue turning doorknobs because rings get in the way. I understand all those things. But we have to have an honest conversation of the offense taking a nosedive this year, but the past few seasons since 2022 been on a steep downturn. And you can't say Tyreek Hill because 2022 didn't have Tyreek Hill in it, and that was maybe the best offensive team we have seen in Kansas City. I get it, no prime Travis Kelce. I understand there's been some issues with the offensive line. There's always going to be nuances. But you look around the NFL and other teams find ways. The Chargers are extremely banged up. Their offensive line is as banged up as Kansas City's. They're, 11-4 this year? You look at San Francisco. Look at the plethora of injuries they've sustained in almost every single year. What are they doing? They're 11-4 this year. Now, again, that doesn't mean they've won the Super Bowl, but they also have Brock Purdy and not Patrick Mahomes. Like, at some point, the honest conversation needs to be had that I don't know if resting on your laurels is correct, but when you keep winning, it's hard to adjust. Because why would you? You're winning. This year almost needed to happen because it forces you to change. And so for Andy, I think he will change. I think we will see a revamped, rejuvenated offense next year. And again, some of the things that I guess I still have questions about of why, again, whether it's him, whether it's Nagy, whether it's Connor Embry, why is Tyquan Thornton not taking all the Xavier Worthy deep routes? Why isn't Xavier Worthy running more of the Hollywood Brown routes? Because when you've seen in glimpses of those things happening, you've seen success. But it's almost like, well, we drafted Xavier Worthy to be this, so he's this. Well, Tyquan Thornton, we just picked up from the Patriots, so we can't play him a ton. Well, that's not how this should work, because Tyquan's been your best deep ball guy, and Xavier Worthy's been actually a pretty good intermediate route guy. And with the injury to Worthy, whether it's the injury or not, he's not necessarily always coming back for balls. He's not high pointing the ball. Again, that's a learning curve for him. He can learn from Tyquan Thornton in that aspect. I don't know. I just, and whether, again, it's going to be a multifaceted, complex situation of who is the deciding factor on that. But at some point, it does fall on Andy. So for that reason, if we're doing naughty or nice list, Andy falls in the naughty category this year.
One more reason why Andy Reid has been naughty this year is that outside of the offensive scheme and the offense being on a steep decline for the past 3 seasons, you have to give him a portion of the blame roster-wise, because Andy Reid is the one that says, I want that guy. I'm going to play this guy. I don't want that guy. And so if we're talking about how this Chiefs roster is depleted, how they lack true talent on offense, from a receiver standpoint, or at least they're not getting the most out of guys, Andy Reid has to take a lot of the blame in all of those areas because receivers aren't developing. And we'll get to Connor Embry, but I do think, to your point, the Chiefs scheme is old. It needs to get revamped, and I also think that he has done a poor job of constructing this roster. And I think that's why he deserves a bigger portion of the blame. That's why he's naughty.
That's why he's naughty. We will give him a playbook with no RPOs.
I was going to say
Christmas present.
A book on change.
I like a Christmas present with no RPOs, a playbook with no RPOs, because I'm over those. I think it does hurt the offensive line, whether they admit it or not. I will stand firm in my conviction that when you run RPOs, it makes the offensive line just nearly second guess. You have to wonder if it's going to be a pass. With Patrick back there, it's more than likely going to be a pass. I think run blocking in that situation makes it hard. You don't want to get a illegal man downfield. And, I think overall RPOs in the year 2025, no thank you. You can leave it in 2025. Matt Nagy.
Super ultra naughty. The naughtiest, some would say. I think Matt Nagy, for all the criticism that he gets, a lot of it's unjustified. I don't think that he is the reason why the Chiefs' offense has been struggling, but I also don't think that he's helping. So I think he's naughty by proxy.
For a second, I thought you were going to say, what's his present? Is it going to be handcuffs, and you're going to handcuff him in Tennessee so he can't get on the flight back? What, Darcy? Why are you shaking your head?
I don't know if Tennessee would want him after what that offense did in Tennessee.
Yeah. So Matt Nagy, I've said for a while, I view him as a hitting coach in baseball, where it might not always be your fault. You might have a great philosophy, but something's not clicking and not working. And whether it's your fault or not, what comes with that job is the risk of being fired. What the result might be is you might become the head coach. It worked once for Matt Nagy. Might work again. But that is the risk reward of being an OC, especially in a successful offense. When you come in and you were successful, the team was, and you get there second time around and you're less successful, well, you're going to be the scapegoat. Fair or not, that comes with the territory. Because again, the reward is just. The reward is you look good, you might get a head coaching job yet again. Right? And so, yeah, I don't know. I don't think any of us will really know how much of an impact Matt Nagy has, positive or negative, on this team. But I'm more or less in the camp of, hey, it might not be fair, but a scapegoat has to happen. When the offense looks this bad, you might have the most to lose, the most to gain. That comes with the territory.
If he is naughty, do you think that his present will be a head coaching job?
It might be. It might be a present to us.
That would be the true present.
Might be a present to Chiefs, fans and Chiefs team, media. He's fine. Not media. I mean, he's fine in all those pressers. It just, at some point, change needs to happen. And again, whether it's his fault or not, that's the job. That's the job. And I hope he gets a head coaching job. I hope the best and success for him personally. But I don't think it's Bieniemy. Were the Chiefs better offensively under Bieniemy? Sure. But I think at this point, I don't want anyone who was previously in Kansas City to be that guy. Even Mike Kafka. I think Kafka's a good mind. I think Bieniemy is a good mind, and you're seeing the run game for the Bears look outstanding. Outstanding for Chicago. But I want something fresh. I want someone new. I want someone outside the organization. I don't need to see Doug Peterson. I love Doug Peterson, but I don't need to see Doug Peterson come back. I don't need to see that. Try something different. Try something new. That's all I'm saying. Because it feels like you have the same mindset of a lot of folk in there. And if they all think and feel the same way because they're all from and think the same organizational tree, well, it's hard to have fresh and new ideas.
And this offense needs fresh and new ideas. I almost think that a Christmas present should be locking Andy Reid in a room and making him watch the Rams offense for 3 months. Because what they are doing is transforming the game. And I think you've seen over the past couple years they've failed to adapt. And to your point, bringing someone in from the Rams staff or elsewhere around the NFL to at least provide something new in terms of, we can try this, we can do this, and even just give, a new voice could never hurt.
No, it could not. Steve Spagnuolo.
I don't think he's been as naughty. I'd say Steve Spagnuolo has been kind of nice. Nice-ish. My only pushback to why he hasn't been fully nice, there's been some questionable personnel decisions, mainly with Noah Williams, and why he hasn't played, and why Trent McDuffie wasn't playing in the slot, and maybe why you're seeing certain guys over others. But at the same time, Steve Spagnuolo has had very little talent to work with on that front four, and they still kind of find ways to force pressure via blitz. But I think some of the questionable decisions he's made, whether it's game plan wise or personnel wise, I don't think he has been horrible. I don't think he's been naughty. I just don't think he has been the nicest.
I'm going nice. I understand all the things you've talked about, and I think they're completely fair, especially when it even comes to the type of guy he likes. And I think same thing for Andy Reid you can say about Spags as far as drafting his guy. They've given up the second fewest points in the AFC.
This is a 6-9 football team too. just imagine if they had more talent on the defensive line or the offense was just
not 2 scoops of ass. Yeah, I know. Because you look at it, Texans are clear-cut the best, 249. Second lowest in the AFC are the Chiefs at 294. That's better than the Broncos are 295, so it's 1 point. I know it's splitting hairs, and after this week, it's probably going to shift because they'll... Shocker, they're probably going to beat the Kansas City Chiefs on Christmas. But as of now, the Chiefs have given up the second fewest points in the AFC, 4th fewest in the entire NFL. If that doesn't get you on the nice list, I don't know what does.
You know what? I want to change my mind. I think he's been nice. I mean, I thought he was nice-ish, but I think the overall season issues of the offensive inconsistencies have lowered my viewpoint on the defense when it shouldn't have, because they've played very well a lot of this season. Now, there have been lapses in Jacksonville, against Buffalo. I still think, though, I mean, Spags has been nice.
Yeah. His present is going to be a first-round, top 15 edge rusher. I'm hoping.
But not a prototypical Spags.
Correct. Give me some bend, baby. Give me some bend. Finally, before we bring on Matt Verderam, Dave Tobe.
He is the naughtiest coach on this staff.
Wow.
Oh, maybe that's a little harsh.
Wow.
I think Dave Tobe has been...
That has to be marked, by the way. There's no chance you can get away with that and not mark yourself. You have to.
I think Dave Tobe has been mediocre at best for a large portion of his time in Kansas City. I mean, you want to talk about the penalties, the just undisciplined football. You pair that with Harrison Butker missing kicks, which is not Dave Tobe's fault. But go back and look at the Chiefs' special teams rankings, and I've tried to find them. And the numbers that I have found, they've never really been above average. There might have been one season where they were top 10, but it was never top 5. It was this special teams unit has been a glaring weakness for years. And you want to see a team that is fighting for a Super Bowl? The Rams just fired their special teams coordinator because they saw, we're a good team, but this is a problem. And they made a midseason adjustment. Now, I'm not expecting that to happen, but I think Dave Tobe's naughty. I think he has not done a very good job coaching that unit.
He has led a very disappointing unit that has almost progressively gotten worse. I do think he was, at one point, one of the best special teams coaches in the NFL. I do think the units were great. But that sort of mystique, and even heading into this year and the year prior of the special teams kickoff changes, we all thought, all right, well, the Chiefs have Dave Tobe. They're going to have a massive advantage over other teams because we all trusted Dave. And that's not transpired the way we thought it was going to. Feels like penalties, lack of explosiveness, whether it's him or not, Remigio's not the most explosive guy. So who can he use? It can be personnel, but also if you're not using Royals on plays, you could use Royals. You could use Brashard Smith. There's always going to be some multifaceted approach here, but overall, special teams has probably been one of the most disappointing aspects of this team in a year full of disappointment. You go into the stocking, and the special teams, that's the candy piece of chocolate that was above the fireplace on the mantle. You turn the fireplace on and it melted. Now your stocking's ruined everything else. Now you just have chocolate melted everywhere. That was special teams this year. Oh, and there's a penalty. And there's a penalty.
There's another one. Oh, this one's on Jack Cochran too?
There's your naughty and nice list. You filthy animals. We had fun. And Darcy got to chalk up his naughty or his cuts for Friday. So you're welcome. You're going to be making the cut list soon. Proud of you.
This is going to be bad.
Yeah, it's going to be bad. But what's going to be great? Matt Verderam of SI coming your way next right here, Sports Radio 810 WHB. It is Christmas Eve, and oh no, you forgot to get a Christmas gift for someone. Well, I got an idea for you. FanDuel. Throw something in their account. Say, hey, here's $50. Put it in your FanDuel account. Let's see if we can have some fun with this. Work on it together because FanDuel Sportsbook is live in the Show Me state. They're kicking things off with a extremely good offer. Right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets, win or lose. So whether it's football, basketball, hockey, or more, you can bet it all on an app that's safe, secure, and super easy to use. They've been having profit boost galore during the holiday season, and they do in general. They always do a great job of giving you a little something extra. And right now, last night, Tuesday night, we were going out playing a little golden tee, and I'm like, well, what should I do? What should I do? There's some games on. I went to FanDuel, live bet right then and there. We had a little bit on the Clippers and the Rockets. We had some on the Bulls game, some on the Sixers game. Had myself a nice little night, and it was all fun and all done right there on FanDuel. So download FanDuel today or head to FanDuel.com/Missouri to join in on all the excitement. Because Missouri, it's time to play your game with FanDuel.
21 plus and present in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com.
Welcome back to the Zone, Sports Radio 810 WHB. Sterling Holmes, Michael Darcy, joined now by Matt Verderam of Sports Illustrated. Verderam, how you doing?
Doing well, sir. How are you?
Good, man. Thanks for joining us on a Christmas Eve. I'm glad that you were able to get away from the kids and the family for a little bit for this.
Me too.
Yeah.
Listen, it's my pleasure.
You got everything set up? Did you get your deck fixed last time? So for those that don't know, I stayed at Verderam's house one time. He was working on a deck. He's a handyman too, not just a guy who knows ball. He knows how to fix things. Is that officially fixed now?
The deck is fixed, the porch is redone, and we're going to get a second deck knocked out in the spring. So yes, we're moving. Although I'm actually moving. So like literally, once it's all done, then I have to move, and I have to do it all over again. But that's fine.
Oh, that's a real treat. That's a real. I'm basically just stalling a little bit because I don't want to talk about the Chiefs, but we're gonna.
Nobody does.
I'll start here, Verderam, with your Chiefs take on them moving to the Kansas side. Do you have any strong thoughts one way or the other?
I mean, I don't in terms of like what state they play in. Of course, for anyone who's not familiar, and I'm sure many of you aren't who are listening, like I'm from New York. I'm from the East Coast. So for me, even though I grew up a lifelong Chiefs fan, like I don't care Missouri, Kansas. Like the state line thing doesn't bother me. Them leaving Arrowhead Stadium is obviously a massive bummer. Covering the whole league for SI, I've been in a lot of stadiums, and I got to tell you, Arrowhead's right up toward the top. Like, it's not like it's some decrepit stadium that's falling apart that they just have to leave. Like frankly, it is in Buffalo. That's not the case in Kansas City. But look, Clark Hunt's a businessman, and Kansas made him an offer that is absurd. Like, I get why he took it. I hate that they're going to have a dome. I can't stand it. I cannot stand this trend in the league. But the reason all these teams are doing it's the same reason. The owners know they can make money in the offseason. So they're going to slap a roof on this thing. But it's going to be so sterile compared to Arrowhead. I can't stand that.
I guess the one pushback I have, because I don't argue with hardly anything that you've said. When it comes to the dome or even the sterile aspect, everyone keeps saying that the culture is going to be gone. Right. I just feel like everyone's thinking worst case scenario. Like the reason why the culture is gone in Vegas is because they moved from Oakland to Vegas, and there's not a absurd amount of Raiders fans there. So I guess for me, I just the slight pushback I have is that because just because you build a new stadium doesn't mean that all of a sudden all the tradition's gone.
No, I don't think. Listen, you're right. You know, this isn't a relocation. Like, I still think you're going to have a very loud stadium. You're still going to have that the home of the Chiefs. Now, the one question I do have that I think won't be answered until they really kind of start construction here. But like, for anyone who's never been to Arrowhead, and I'm sure most people listening have been, there's not a lot around Arrowhead Stadium. Like it's in the middle of a big parking lot, and that's it. And everybody tailgates. That's a huge part of the scene. When they build this place out in Kansas, they're going to build up around it. I mean, there's going to be restaurants and bars and all this stuff. How much does that take away from the tailgate? That's the only thing I do. Because look, if there's a million barbecue joints that you can just walk to, how many people are just going to get soft and just do that? That's the only thing I think could be affected. I don't think the noise, all that stuff, they're still going to be loud. But the tailgate thing is the one part of the Chiefs' lore, if you will, that I could see maybe get affected.
Yeah, and I would agree with that. That'd be the one thing. It's not that they won't allow it. It's that people might choose to go to a restaurant instead, which, again, I lived in Philly for 3 years. They actually have it's not Kansas City tailgate, so don't get this twisted. But they have a decent tailgating scene, I thought, in Philly, and they still have a ton of stuff around the stadium. Obviously, they have their version of Power and Light right next to it, so the majority of the people are there. But they still had, in my opinion, when I was there, a decent tailgating scene. But yes, it is not even on the same comparison. It's cheesesteaks to barbecue. You're choosing barbecue every single time. It's the same thing when it comes to the tailgating scene, Philly and Kansas City. Matt Verderam of Sports Illustrated is our guest. When it comes to the season and the last two games, do you finally think we'll see Jalen Royals, Jeffrey Bossa, and Brashard Smith, or is it going to be more of the same?
I mean, I thought we were going to see a lot of them last week, and they were in witness protection. So, I don't know. They should. I mean, look, at this point, playing Juju Smith-Schuster 91% of the snaps in Tennessee, like I don't know how else to say this other than if Andy Reid wasn't Andy Reid, and he was just a average NFL head coach. That's fireable. Like, that really is. Like, that is the kind of thing, considering their circumstances, that you'd look at and go, this guy does not know what he's doing. You'd fire him. Now, it's Andy Reid. I'm not saying you should fire him. I do think they need to clean house on the offensive side of the ball. I do. But how are you not playing those guys? How is Royals not playing over Juju? Like, Juju's not coming back. And if he is, there should be massive questions. On defense, nothing against Jack Cochran. Why is Jack Cochran on the field defensively? He's not the future. He's 28 years old. He's a special teams player, and that's fine. That's what he is. But, like, that's what he is. Drew Tranquil may or may not come back next year. We'll see if he's a cap casualty. My guess is probably yeah. Like, why is Dawson not playing? Why are you not playing Noah Williams every snap? I don't need to see Christian Fulton for the rest of my life. It's over. He's getting cut this year. Like, it's done. What are you doing? Like, look, I'm not one of these people who's, they got to tank. You don't tank in the NFL. They're not going to tank. But there's a difference between tanking and evaluating. Like, they need to be evaluating these young players. Pacheco should never carry the ball again in the Chiefs uniform. It's nothing against him personally, but they need to see Smith. They need to evaluate these guys. And what they were doing in Tennessee, look, I thought that this coaching job by Andy is one of the worst coaching jobs I've ever seen for a team that has talent. I don't know what they've done all year. It's been bizarre. It's been very strange. The Tennessee game, to me, was the cherry on top of that Sunday. I don't know what the thought process was. They tried to win that game and got blasted by the Titans. I mean, that's about as low as it gets.
Yeah, because everyone knows at that time the 2-12 Titans were an absolute powerhouse that you had to do everything you could to play the veterans and still get your ass kicked.
They had won a home game in 12 games. And they beat the Chiefs like the Chiefs weren't even an NFL team because they didn't play like them. But that's understandable. Listen, if the Chiefs had rolled out, most of their practice squad guys, okay, look, you lose, who cares, right? Everybody understands that. That's not what happened. Like, they played, other than McDuffie, their entire starting defense, and got whipped. Like, that game was an embarrassment. And I think that's why you saw Trey Smith upset, why you saw Creed Humphrey upset. But what's concerning is you didn't see any of the coaches upset. Nobody's upset. They took 10 penalties in that game. They took 2 on the first drive. And it's the same thing every week. There's no emotion. There's no corrections. They stand there and look at each other. Nothing changes. I don't know how you justify bringing Matt Nagy back. I have no idea what the thought process would be other than just like, he's my friend. Because at this point, they've been mediocre to bad offensively for 3 years. And I don't care that they've struggled with this and so. Patrick Mahomes. That's a cheat code to be a top 5 offense every year. Go ask Buffalo, who other than James Cook has you and me at receiver. And they're figuring out how to score 30 points a game, and the Chiefs can't do anything with this organization. I mean, it's time. It's time to move off of their running backs coach, who was an NFL receiver, not a running back. Their receivers coach, who really doesn't have the resume to be a receivers coach. Their offensive coordinator, who's been with Andy Reid his entire career outside of a stint in Chicago that went sideways after 1 year. Like, it's time. It's time. You need to completely overhaul their offensive coaching staff under Andy.
So when it comes to that, I don't necessarily argue or disagree. And again, sometimes it might even be a scapegoat. We have no idea how much Matt Nagy actually handles all of this stuff. But point remains, it's the risk reward of an OC. The risk is you get fired and you're the first one canned. The reward is you become a head coach yet again. Most people are going to take that opportunity and that risk reward. It worked out for him once as he became the head coach of the Bears. So I'm 100% with you there. But I guess what I don't want to see, and some of the talk had been like, does Mike Kafka come back? Or do you try and get Eric Bieniemy back? And again, I don't argue with those two guys. I think Bieniemy's done a phenomenal job in Chicago. Look at the run game. I think Mike Kafka has a great mind, but isn't that almost the same thing of just bringing the band back together? It's why I don't want to see Doug Peterson again. I like Doug Peterson. Like him a lot. I don't want to see another guy who's been in the Andy Reid system return.
I get it. The only thing I'll say about Bieniemy, I think Bieniemy does one thing for them that none of those other guys do. There's an accountability with Eric Bieniemy. If you screw up, you're going to know it immediately. And that's one thing with them. It does feel at times like it's a little bit of a country club atmosphere, where it's just, hey, listen, I mean, Javon Taylor, I'm not trying to pick on the guy. How many penalties has he taken since he's been in Kansas City? 40? And there's never an adjustment. There's never a repercussion. Nobody gets on him. It's the same thing every week. I got to tell you, I don't think that's happening for Eric Bieniemy. Not that they're perfect. Look, Cody Tapp mentioned something the other day. I heard him say that I thought was really interesting. I thought he was right. Like, when Bieniemy was there, DeMarcus Robinson ran backwards for 3 years, and that was never correct. So there are certain things. I would say though with Nagy, I think sometimes he does get more of a rap than he should from the standpoint of Andy calls the plays, and it's Andy's offense. However, the reason I would move off Nagy and the staff in general offensively, the details, that is on the coordinator. Those are on these positional coaches. And every week you see routes that are rounded off the top. They're not run correctly. The spacing's incorrect. They line up incorrectly. They take motion penalties. Like, that stuff's on these coordinators. If every week, 8 times a game, the defense just blew assignments, suspect nolo. Like, at some point, you got to correct this stuff. Andy's going to install the game plan. Andy's going to give the game plan, give the plays. But it's on Matt Nagy to make sure that's installed correctly and it's run correctly. And every single time you watch these games, there is a complete lack of details, and it kills them every week. And at some point, you're not going to get rid of all the offensive players, nor should you. There's talent. Like, you need to get rid of the coach, and the coach in this case is Nagy.
By the way, just with your Juwan Taylor, you said, 40-some penalties since he's been here. It's actually 56. He's been called for 56 penalties since he has been here in Kansas City.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you. Can you say it one more time?
56 penalties is what Juwan Taylor's been called for.
Okay, there you go. I mean, it's insane. I mean, that's just, and nothing changes. He's never benched. This is a year they could have done it. They have Jalen Moore. Like, they could have made an adjustment, and they just don't. They sit there and nothing changes. And listen, I'm not one of these guys who expects Andy to come out fire and brimstone in a presser. He's not going to do that, and that's fine. But if they made the changes on the back end in private, you go, okay, at least they do nothing. Nothing changes. Nothing is adjusted. Every single week, it's the same thing. They take a million penalties. They look like they have no clue. I mean, if I've got to listen to one more person tell me how they can't beat man coverage, how are you not beating man coverage with this? Are you kidding me? If Travis Kelce, Rasheed Rice, and Xavier Worthy, you can't beat man coverage. You just can't figure out how to get open. I cover the whole league for us. Like, you many times I watch teams that have nobody get open every week. The Giants do it all the time. The Saints do it. Arizona constantly gets McBride open, gets Michael Wilson open. The Chiefs can't figure out how to get Rasheed Rice, Xavier Worthy, and Travis Kelce open. They just can't do it. That's not practice. That's not a player practice. That's a coaching practice. Like, it would be one thing if you sat there and went, okay, Rasheed Rice can't beat man coverage. Okay. But Xavier Worthy's doing it, Hollywood's it. When it's every type of receiver and every receiver on your team, none of them can do it, that's a coaching problem. That's a scheme problem. And I can tell you right now from talking to people in that building, they know it's a scheme problem. So at some point, it's going to have to be adjusted. And I think this offseason, whether it's Andy's volition or it's Clark Hunt, somebody is going to have to make him change. And I think that's pretty evident after what you've watched this season.
Yeah, and that's been my talking point for the past few weeks now. It's scheme, and I don't mean to beat a dead horse, but since I brought you on, I'll go through it real quick with you. 2022 is the new era. That's when Tyreek Hill left, and 2022 might have been the high point, right? They were outstanding, one of the best offenses, the best offense of the NFL, maybe the best in Chiefs history, maybe the best this year, or in the Patrick Mahomes era. Well, they win a Super Bowl. 2023, they win a Super Bowl, and Patrick Mahomes says this was not quite as fun. The offense took a step back, but they still won a Super Bowl. 2024, they make it to a Super Bowl, but the offense is clearly a struggle. It's a grind, but variance is in their favor. They go 15-2 and make it all the way back. And then this year happened where the wheels completely fell off. To me, this is them saying, well, we keep winning. Why would we change? This is the same thing from 2022 that we've been watching, but the defenses have completely adjusted while the Chiefs have said, well, it worked before, so why would he not just keep doing it again?
And I think, look, that's natural. You're winning. So, and I can tell you right now, I know for a fact that some of that is the mentality. It was like, well, we're winning, so we're not going to change, which I can understand. I get it. I don't even blame them. But, like, look, 2023 I think was an anomaly in the sense of, to be fair, I remember watching the All-22 a lot. They were getting open. Those receivers just could not catch the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, that was more a personnel issue than it was a scheme issue. But by last year, it was kind of both, but it was becoming a scheme issue. This year is just untenable. I mean, this is ridiculous how bad this is. They have one of the worst 5 schemes in the NFL. They don't do anything. They don't threaten you running the ball. They don't threaten you on the air. And look, a lot of this is running the football. Because when you watch this Chiefs team, they don't threaten you at all running it. And I mean, like, literally, historically, not at all, when we're talking about explosive runs. There are times when you watch them on film, and not a few times, look at a good chunk of the time, they will run a play-action fake, and the linebackers just backpedal right through it. They don't even care. It's like, yeah, that's nice. Go ahead and hand off to Isaiah Pacheco and see what happens. Like, they don't care. Nobody cares. Plus, they know the Chiefs aren't going to stick to it anyway. So it's like, oh, yeah, if you get to 7 yards here, they don't care. It's fine. They, in the worst way, need a real running back. Because with a real running back, first of all, you're getting better second down opportunities, 2nd and 6, 2nd and 5, 2nd and 9. You're also going to rip off some more explosives. But on top of that, and as importantly, you're going to force those linebackers, instead of the backpedal through it, they got to step up. And then all of a sudden, you watch. They get a real running back and go, oh, wow, the intermediate game's back. Well, yeah, because the linebackers getting 8 yards of depth and not 12. So, yeah, of course it's back. Now those crossers that you're running, instead of being covered, they're open. Mahomes can just drop it over the linebacker's head. But it's been, look, they have completely abandoned the idea that running the ball for any real explosiveness, that it matters. And they're going to have to adjust it this year. But we all said this last offseason. This was a clear-as-day problem last year, and they did nothing. And they sat on their hands and said, well, Pacheco will be back. It'll be fine. Well, it wasn't fine. So now I think, look, you've got that whole room. I don't know that anybody comes back. If Hunt comes back, it's for short yardage only. And you've got to find, in my opinion, I would draft a guy and I'd sign one. I would go overboard to fix that room.
I'm with you, by the way. I'm team 2nd or 3rd round running back. I think 1st round with that high of a draft pick. I'm team defensive end, or maybe Carnell Tate, an Ohio State wide receiver.
I agree.
I just think, but also I'm with you as far as maybe it's ETN from Jacksonville. Maybe it is Breece Hall this time around.
Yep.
And I would be okay with Hunt coming back as that short yardage guy if that's the case. I guess my final thought here with you, Verder, before I let you go, with some of the young guys, is this also a case of them just basically telling us what we don't want to hear of they don't believe in these guys when it comes to Jeffrey Bassa and Royals? I think Rashard Smith's the intriguing one of he got 14 carries in a blowout earlier in the year. 14 carries.
Right.
And I know it wasn't great, but still he got 14 carries. Well, you're getting blown out by Tennessee, and you don't give him anything. You gave him 0. When it comes to 15-plus yard receptions at running back, he has 4. Kareem Hunt has 1, and Pacheco has 1, and that was last week. So you've seen some explosiveness from Rashard Smith, but are they almost telling us that they don't think they're part of the future?
I don't think so. I think that they are just beholden, and always have been, to this idea that you play veterans. And I get it to a degree here, but, like, let's be real. I mean, I'm not trying to pick on him. I'm really not, because he's been a great team guy. He was a great player for him one of the years they won a Super Bowl. Playing Juju Smith-Schuster at this point it's just malpractice. He can't do anything. I don't have it right in front of me, so forgive me if I'm a little off on this. I believe over the last 7 games, in which he's played like 60% of the snaps, he had something like 7 catches and 21 yards over the last 7 games. That's impossible. That is almost numerically impossible to do that with that amount of snaps in this offense. And here they are. Look, I just think at some juncture here, they do have to play the younger guys. And it's funny, like, you'd think that like some of the stuff that's happened here, you'd think would make him. Kevin Knowles has played well.
Yeah.
And they talked about it yesterday. They were like, wow, yeah, we're shocked. Well, yeah, play him. Like, you don't know. Esapole, nobody thought he was going to do anything. And that, you talk to people in that building, yeah, he might be a starting tackle for us next year. You don't know. And that's the thing. Royals might not be good. What if Royals goes out on Christmas late and has 130 yards? You don't know. You know who's not going to have 130 yards? Juju. So go play Jalen Royals, throw the ball at him 8 times, and see what happens. Like, that is my biggest gripe with Andy Reid right now. They're not even trying to evaluate these guys, and that is a cardinal sin with the position this team's in right now.
I looked it up. Over the last 7 games for Juju, 4 catches for 27 yards.
That's unbelievable. That's impossible. I mean, I'm not Sterling. You could go out there and have. I mean, as long as you didn't die when you got hit.
Oh, I would die though when I got hit. Let's be real.
You ran 400 routes. Like, hey, let's just throw him a bubble screen, have him run out of bounds. Like, I mean that's impossible to do that in 7 games and 6 of them were with Mahomes. That's just, and they'll just keep playing. They'll just keep trotting them out there, and that is something that really deserves to be asked multiple times. Like, why? What is the thought process? You can't tell me this is worth the squeeze. Like, but they keep doing it.
Matt Verderam of Sports Illustrated. Merry Christmas. Let's just hope that our Christmas present here, Verderam, is going to be the young guys. Let's just hope it's Royals over Juju. I don't need a lot, but that's all I need.
My gift is going to be schnapps, and at that point, I don't know, do whatever you want.
Some Rumplemints, some Cutwaters and neutrals for Verderam and myself. Matt Verderam, Sports Illustrated. Check him out and all his great work, SI.com. Verderam, appreciate it, man. Happy holidays.
You too. Take care.
We'll take a break. We'll come back. More Zone, Sports Radio 810 WHB.
Nothing like enjoying a little football, and nothing like enjoying a little football with DraftKings Sportsbook app in Missouri. You get to do that because your moment, it's here. DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app. It's live in your state, and now you can join the rest of the states that have done this a while ago and make every game even more exciting. Same-game parlays, money lines, props, and more. Have some fun tomorrow with the Christmas Day game. We'll see about all of those unders for tomorrow. And from your phone, all safe, secure, and easy to use. Missouri fans, you know about game day, the tailgates, the noise, the passion. Hopefully that is going on tomorrow. And now with DraftKings Sportsbook, you can bring that same energy to every snap, every touchdown, every win. And right now, new Missouri customers can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets instantly. No waiting, no nonsense, just pure action. Powered by America's top-rated sportsbook app. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code 810WHB. New Missouri customers, bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets instantly. That's code 810WHB. The crown is yours in partnership with DraftKings Sportsbook.
Wrapping up the third hour of the Zone, Mick Schaefer will join us. Mick Schaefer is here. He's looking good, by the way. Mick Schaefer is wearing a nice green. Oh my gosh, what is that? That is a Sasquatch. Not Vinny, but a Sasquatch wearing Santa lingerie. I'd consider that Santa lingerie. That's naughty. That's not on the nice list. Oh, now you just took it off. I could see up your sweater, Mick. Oh my gosh, Mick, put it down. Put it down, Mick.
Super naughty.
This is a naughty or nice segment with Mick, apparently. Didn't know that was going to happen. That's what happened. Jason's gone, and kids come out to play, baby. Welcome back to the Zone, Sports Radio 810 WHB. Sterling Holmes, Michael Darcy, Mick Schaefer. I wasn't lying about his sweater. It is a glorious, horrendous sweater, Christmas sweater of not Vinny, but a Sasquatch. And
It's Bigfoot in a bikini.
Bigfoot in a bikini, yeah. Alliteration, I like it. Nice.
Bigfoot in a bikini, 'tis the season, and I've got shorts on. I've got my dudes on. It is, it's great weather.
Is Bigfoot different than Sasquatch?
Yeah, no.
They're the same.
Yes.
Okay.
They just have two names.
Just two names.
Sure.
It's kind of like Norway, the Netherlands, and the Dutch,
Sure.
right? Where it's
Yeah,
like
except that place exists. Well, the Dutch are like the people. Holland and the Netherlands, I think,
Holland
would be a better
example.
Yes.
Full transparency, I forgot Holland. I forgot there's three. They just
Yeah,
try
the
to
Dutch
confuse
are like
you.
just the people that live there.
Because you're like we're gonna bomb.
It's not like Dutchland.
Deutschland
is Germany.
Yeah.
So yeah, Holland and the Netherlands, or USA and America, United States and America. Right.
I think is the.
But you can call it America. You can call it USA. You can call it the United States.
I was like when people call it the
US.
U.S. of A.
Yeah.
That always is nice. Yeah. How's your Christmas Eve been so far? Better now that you're here, of course.
Woke up at 10, so it was great. I really slept in. Been staying up late.
Kids wake you up?
No, kids not later. I don't have like 3-year-olds. I have like 22, 19.
What's Christmas Eve?
And a 14-year-old.
They didn't come and jump on your bed and just
They don't
just
do
say,
that.
Dad,
No,
it's
they
time."
stopped that a while back.
Well, like 2 years ago, probably.
That's it. Yes, last
week.
Christmas. That's it. And it's Christmas Eve. But I woke up, the wife and daughter making a bunch of cookies and everything. Those got burnt awful. But
Wow.
and
How burnt
there
we're
were
talking?
two. My daughter does too much dough when put it in there, and they all spread into one gigantic cookie. But lucky for her, I don't care about aesthetics, and I like it a little bit burnt. So I made about 4 or 5 cookies today.
Nice. Good for you. What kind? Oatmeal raisin?
No, they were like a peanut buttery chocolate chip, something going on. Yeah.
A burnt chocolate chip I'm out on. That's
Well, the good thing is, they were a little they were dark, but they were still right out of the oven and still gooey.
Oh yeah,
So,
because once you let it
that's the
sit
deal.
for about a
I'm with
couple
you.
hours,
Yes, a cold chocolate chip cookie, I'll just throw out.
I'll chuck it at someone and
I
it'll
don't need it.
break a tooth.
Don't need it.
Yeah, I don't need that.
Give me the soft oatmeal raisin. We can talk about that. We're in a safe space here because Jason's gone.
Correct.
We can talk about oatmeal raisin cookies.
You know how I know that I've reached the age of I should probably go on some sort of like elder. I get calls now. What's the thing that calls you when you hit 65?
AARP?
AARP. Yeah, I feel like I should be a part of AARP now. I like oatmeal raisin cookies, and I think socks are a great gift for Christmas.
Yeah. I feel like young people can still do that. The oatmeal raisin, kids can eat. And the socks, yeah, they're good socks. They're designer socks. You can allow it.
I'm stalling because I don't want to talk about the Chiefs, and it's just a bummer. It's Christmas tomorrow. It's the Christmas game tomorrow. It's Chris Oladokun against the vaunted Broncos defense. By the way, did you know, fun fact for you?
Mm-hmm.
The Chiefs have given up fewer points this season than the Broncos have.
Yeah, that shutout of the just a couple weeks ago, they were like second in points allowed or something.
They are
like
second
that.
in the AFC, fourth in the NFL.
Is it still like 19 or 20 or something like that?
I don't have the exact number in front. I just have the rank.
Yeah, no, I mean, if you just look at the stats, you're like, okay, this team's barreling towards the playoffs. But there's been more than stats. And so, yeah, that shutout of the Raiders certainly helped. And then, yeah, all these pathetic low-scoring games they've had, at least a few of the times, the other team's been right along there with them, scoring low totals and being pathetic, but being just a little bit better.
Just a little
bit better.
Better. Christmas game itself, any thoughts? Anything that stands out to you? Anything you're looking forward to? I know young guys is going to be the obvious answer, but
No, it's not my answer. I don't care.
You just don't care?
No, I don't care. I don't care about who's the D tackle?
Zach Pickens.
How did you do last week? Did you look up his PFF grade?
I didn't see let's see PFF grade. But he did play.
Good. Yeah, I know. When they said his name, I'm like, oh, Sterling's happy.
But I wasn't happy.
Yeah.
I was not happy at all during
Here's
that game.
why I'm thinking, and Matt, and your conversation was so good, and I was thinking for reasons, and I touched on it last time I was on. I think with Andy Reid, he doesn't need to see you on the field before he thinks he knows what he has, right? I think that is his frame of mind. He's not afraid to put a first-year, first-game player out there, and if he doesn't think you're one of the best, 4 or 5, I feel like he knows what he has with Jalen Royals without him being on the field.
And I guess my pushback is, does that mean it's not a good thing? My question, I guess, is does that mean he doesn't like what he sees?
Yeah, maybe. It's quite possible.
I just find it perplexing that
Burchard, none of us have seen him in practice at all. But all season, we see the stretching. We know which leg he stretches first.
But
with,
is he a good stretcher?
Yeah, he's always right.
Is
right
he flexible?
First. He's very flexible.
Okay.
Maybe that's it. Too flexible. That's naughty.
But Burchard Smith got 14 carries in a blowout against the Raiders.
Yeah.
The fact he got 0 in a blowout against the Titans.
Well, I mean, it's blowout the other way.
The point still.
No,
stands.
it's very different. I mean, when you're blowing a team out, you're going to run the ball a lot more.
No.
Yes.
Agreed.
Okay. But when you're getting blown out, you're going to throw the ball a lot more.
And you would still think that he'd be part of the game plan then, because he's.
I thought he'd be part of the game plan a lot more, just because. But we've seen Burchard Smith plenty this year, right?
Have we?
Oh, we've seen him a lot, yeah. Of all the
a lot
more than Jalen Royals, yeah.
Well, yeah, we're saying a lot more than 0. A lot more than.
It goes to
snaps.
my point, Andy Reid, and look, right or wrong. I mean, Michael brought up the point they might have missed on Esapole, though he missed on a big block on a safety. And so, right or wrong, I believe it's his mindset of like, yeah, when you're ready, we'll play you. And I've been around you for months, every single day. I know what you've been bring to the table. I've been doing this thing for 40 years. Right, I can tell how it's going to translate to the field. So that is my best guess as to why you're not seeing those young guys.
Yeah. When it comes to the stadium itself, now that we've had time to ruminate and think and kind of let it sit in now, because I think last we spoke was Monday, and they were going through the closed session.
It just broke, right?
It was breaking during the show. Now that you've had a little more time to sit back on it, any additional thoughts?
So I'm at this point right now, the Chiefs are building a new stadium 20 minutes down the street. It's not a relocation.
Yeah.
It's not a move. That's where I'm at right now. I know a lot of people aren't at that spot. But when you boil it down, that's what it is. And I said on Monday, I've never thought of the Royals and the Chiefs as Missouri's team, and I won't think of the Chiefs now as Kansas's team. It's Kansas City's team, wherever they were at. And look, if the original, if Arrowhead had been built in Raytown, they still would have been the Kansas City Chiefs.
Correct.
Right? And they are moving to another Kansas City, but had they not had it, it's
Overland Park.
If it's in Overland Park, or if it, sneaks inside the Bonner Springs, annexed land area, whatever, they're still going to be the Kansas City Chiefs. It wasn't the town they were in, the literal town, the biggest one in our big old metro area here. It wasn't the town that they just belonged to that town. They belonged to the entire city. Now look, and Soren makes this point all the time, was it fair to have Jackson County foot the bill for these two franchises for almost 6 decades, right? Probably not. And so I get the bitterness of some of the Missouri fans. I think I get the nostalgia of Arrowhead more, right? Of like, okay, that building we're not going to have anymore, which you would have felt that had you knocked it down and built right next to it, right?
And that was my
So
point.
I get that more as opposed to the animosity towards the Chiefs on this one. You had a chance, you had a vote, and I get the Royals were tied up in that, but I'm with you. That was a 60-40 landslide. I'm not sure, even with the Royals out of that thing would have been passed.
Yeah, I think there's a little bit of revisionist history going on. It would
I
have
think there is,
easily
too.
passed. I'm like,
Careful.
I don't think so.
I think it's 59-41, right, or something like that.
Yeah, because I was doing the show live. It was horrible because we all thought it was going to pass, and then it didn't pass, and we're like, oh, pivot. And the Chiefs, a big talking point, I feel like people forget this, like I'm having amnesia. People hated the Chiefs plan. I remember people who was like, I like the Royals plan, but I hate the Chiefs plan because the Chiefs are just getting paid $800 million to build a bridge
Put
and
a
an
bridge to some
activation
trees.
zone.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
And so I just feel like there's been some revisionist history in that regard. And whether you want to say the Chiefs just purposefully tanked that, or they didn't care about it, or they just thought it passed no matter what they did, the fact that they didn't get a second opportunity for Jackson County to revote, I get all those things. But
it was pooper got the pot time, though, right? I mean, they're going to be in a rush to get this thing done on the Kansas side. If it does take them 18 months, right, to get the plans together and get shovels in the ground on this thing, they're going to run right up to the deadline. So I don't know if they could have afforded to wait for another April vote and the result of that.
And so for me, I just come down to if they are building a new stadium, and again, I'm a Mizzou alum, so I have some of those thoughts, obviously, but I don't care where it was going to be built as long as it's in the metro.
Yeah.
If you're building new, to me, this is my personal opinion, I don't care if it's Missouri or Kansas side. I just wanted it to be done. Yes, I love Arrowhead, but that's not the conversation once it was going to be a new $3 billion domed stadium. At that point, just keep it in the metro. And now I guess that we're paying for it with, I know the star bonds and taxes and all that stuff. So if you're in JOCO, look at least on the map, the initial thought. I don't know if you saw how it comes because of Olathe and the practice facility and all that stuff.
It won't be an extra tax, right? It'll be overages, and from what their planned budget will be for taxes of Johnson County, and most of it's going to come from the new development there. They'll take the taxes from there and then try to pay back the star bonds. And look, that's a roll of the dice. I've been kind of down a rabbit hole of all the other star bond projects they've had over the years in Kansas, and it's about half and half as to whether they've been paid off or not. And most are trending toward being paid off. There's been some dumpster fires, Prairie Fire just over here. That's been the worst one of all.
Really?
Not even close. $65 million. They paid off like 100,000 of it.
Seriously?
Awful.
That is shocking.
It's been the worst one. And the best one's been Children's Mercy Park. They paid that thing off in 14 years. And so that gives me hope, a professional franchise in that same area, that they can do the same with this. Now, if you're going to roll the dice on the NFL.
Yeah.
And the face franchise of the NFL at this moment. I know it's been a down year, but it's been a dynastic decade here for this team. And so I think of all if it's a gamble, it's a relatively safe gamble on Kansas's part. Now I wonder, okay, the next move obviously is the Royals. Is Kansas like, I don't know, do we have enough money left here? Can we do this again for the Royals? And does that spur on Jackson County, Kansas City, Missouri, state of Missouri to be like, okay, we can't lose another team. We're going to get this thing done for the Royals. They want to be downtown. We're going to make it happen downtown. I hope that's the case. That's been my hope all along, is the Chiefs move to Kansas, Royals move to downtown, and we get this thing up and running. We get new stadiums, and it's awesome. So on the Chiefs side, I got what I wanted, not necessarily the Kansas part of things. I wanted them to stay in the metro area, and I got a dome. And there's people really upset about like playing in conditions. They can still have that thing open, even when it's cold. The dome part, right? Is it not gonna? We don't know for sure, but they could roll it back, right?
I don't think it's going to be retractable.
Why not? Have they said that?
No,
Why wouldn't you?
I think it costs a lot more for it to be retractable.
It's like $4.5 billion. Yeah. How much more? It's more than like almost SoFi costs on that.
Yeah.
Okay. That fair enough.
I had not heard, and again, this could be my ignorance here. I had not heard it being retractable. I heard it being a fixed roof dome.
Okay. I would prefer retractable, but I'll still err on the side of coverage and it bring in more and more stuff. But I thought it was so telling when we talked to Clark Hunt and Mark Donovan on Monday. Clark Hunt said, "Look, we dealt with both sides. Kansas just had their plan together, and in Missouri they weren't there yet. We had to deal with the state, the county, and the city, 3 entities. And with Kansas, it was just Laura Carroll.
It was, hey, we'll give you money.
It was one person.
Yeah.
And logistics got thrown together a lot quicker. And then Mark Donovan said, look, Mike Kehoe was great. He put together a good plan. He really was wanting this to happen. And then he goes, dealing with the county was interesting. And he left it at that. interesting.
Yeah, as you heard
what he said.
Quentin Lucas talk about Frank White and his thoughts of how will he be remembered? Will this be it? He'll be remembered as a great baseball player.
That's right.
Which I thought was also fairly telling as well.
Yeah.
I guess the final thought, I do want to play some Rotten Tomatoes on this Wednesday since it's Christmas Eve. Why not? Let's have a little fun. We can relax a little bit. We can set up a fire in here. I don't think they'll care. Lebo, do you care if we start a fire in here? No, you doesn't care. I don't like people who keep saying that tradition's gone, tailgating's gone, all the loud aspects of the stadium are gone.
No,
we don't know that. I mean, could it be? Maybe.
Donovan's already talked about we're going to make sure
doubtful.
The acoustics and everything and how we build this thing are going to lend itself to continue to being the quote unquote loudest stadium in the world.
They just assume that they're going to come down and say you can't tailgate, or you can no longer do the tomahawk chop, or you can no longer do this, or you can no longer do this, and I don't think that's going to be the case. They're going to want it to be as I think at least the atmosphere as much like Arrowhead as possible.
I mean, my response to that, the memories are still there. The experiences you had were real, and they happened, and all that stuff. You will still have those pictures, those memories, those stories for the rest of your life, the rest of the lives of your family. To the animosity side, I would say that Jackson County folk that are upset, that you should turn it toward your political leaders there. I think, and I'm almost 100% sure on this. I know that the Hunts wanted to stay in Missouri. Now, Mark Donovan, maybe not, but the Hunts wanted to stay in Missouri. They had plenty of chances over the years to move out, right? I think they renewed the leases back in 2015, and then they had the vote in 07, and even though they're on the rolling roof, they renovated and all that stuff. They've stayed there for a long time. It's not like once they had the chance to jump ship, they did. I mean, Lamar's been gone from us for almost 20 years now. And so I think Clark and the family, it was a tough decision for them to switch because they probably knew the animosity that was going to be thrown their way. But in my opinion, it should be steered toward the political leaders who waited too long on this, had too many layers of government, and then also yourselves. I mean, you had a vote.
Yeah,
you had a vote for this. You had a vote for a rolling roof. Neither one happened. And then Kansas kind of provided both.
Yeah. We'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll play some Rotten Tomatoes on the other side. The Zone at Sports Radio 810 WHB.
Nothing like enjoying a little football, and nothing like enjoying a little football with DraftKings Sportsbook app in Missouri. You get to do that because your moment, it's here. DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app. It's live in your state, and now you can join the rest of the states that have done this a while ago and make every game even more exciting. Same-game parlays, money lines, props, and more. Have some fun tomorrow with the Christmas Day game. We'll see about all of those unders for tomorrow. And from your phone, all safe, secure, and easy to use. Missouri fans, you know about game day, the tailgates, the noise, the passion. Hopefully that is going on tomorrow. And now with DraftKings Sportsbook, you can bring that same energy to every snap, every touchdown, every win. And right now, new Missouri customers can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets instantly. No waiting, no nonsense, just pure action. Powered by America's top-rated sportsbook app. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code 810WHB. New Missouri customers, bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets instantly. That's code 810WHB. The crown is yours in partnership with DraftKings Sportsbook.
Lebo won't leave. Lebo is
Listen,
harassing us.
What's great? It's a great conversation. I'm a big Chris Oladokun fan. Great dude. I hope he has some success on Christmas Day. I think it's really cool for him and his family.
Yeah.
That he's gone from, listen, life comes at you fast in the NFL. He goes from practice squad, nothing guy who's been active for one game before last week. One time, would have been probably last year's Broncos game, right? Is that when he had like one carry? Practice squad lifer for 4 years to boom, starting on Christmas night for the Chiefs in Arrowhead. Very cool for him and his family. He talked about his 5 family members who will be there, his parents, his sister and her boyfriend, and then his brother, who I didn't know plays for the Chargers, or at least is on the roster.
Impressive.
Good luck to Chris Oladokun. May everybody know how to say his name now. Florida kid, but bounced around. Was it South Florida, then Samford, and then South Dakota State.
Yeah.
I talked about South Dakota State because I did a lot of Valley football back in the day, and I made a lot of stops in Brookings, South Dakota.
Lovely.
It's cold
this time of year, huh?
AF there. Cold and fun. Cold and fun there. No dome. It's like
no
of
dome.
the 4, there's 2 North Dakota schools, 2 South Dakota schools. I believe it's the only one without a dome.
Well, let's play some Rotten Tomatoes because I do not want to go there. That sounds not fun. Darcy, 2 movies. Mick, 2 movies. We'll go around the room. We'll do the tomato meter, which is the fan vote, then the popcorn meter, which is the critics vote on said movies. Let's have some fun on this Christmas Eve. I will start A Charlie Brown Christmas. 1965.
Wow. You're not going to give me the plot or anything?
Christmas time is here. Happiness and cheer. And for Peanuts fans everywhere, it just wouldn't be Christmas without this holiday delight. I wish they would have rhymed there. That made no sense why you were rhyming for a while and then just stopped. Christmas lights may be twinkling red and green, but Charlie Brown has the Yuletide blues.
Yeah.
He has to get in the holiday spirit. He takes Lucy's advice and directs the Christmas play. What is the real meaning of Christmas?
So I'm doing tomato meter.
Yes.
I'm going to go, I have no idea with animated movies from the 60s. I'm going to throw a dart at 70%.
Give me 89%.
Darcy, 86.
Oh, they loved it. Well
I was going to
done.
say 95. I mean, that's a classic.
Yeah. It makes sense that, what are you, 22?
I got to figure out who I'm getting points
23-year-old?
to.
23.
For some
more
reason,
about-
we all have very similar initials because I'm S. Well, that could also be Schaefer. I have a D. That could be
you do.
Darcy. And then I have M, which could be
just
Mick.
MS, SH, and
or-
then MD.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes people put 2 initials.
Yeah, that's
If you want, you can get our middle names.
Schaefer. Okay. Darcy with 1 point. Well, that is your middle name. You'd be JMD.
Michael's my middle name.
JMS.
JMS.
Yeah. Popcorn meter, Darcy.
Ooh. Oh, you know what? 95.
Can't be that high. I'm going 92.
On the nose, 92.
Oh,
gosh.
Thanks for setting me up for that.
Yeah, you really. It can't be that high. I'll just go 3 lower.
Yes.
I was expecting like a 78.
92.
Okay. My turn.
Correct.
All right. When their plans for an exotic vacation fall apart, unmarried couple Brad and Kate must spend Christmas Day trudging around to a quartet of family get-togethers. It's 4 Christmases with Reese Witherspoon and Vince Vaughn. Have you seen it, Michael?
I haven't, I don't think.
Haven't? Is
Yeah,
what
that was
Okay.
tough. I have.
No, I don't think.
No, I definitely haven't.
2008. Best part, it's an hour 28. They just
Mick-
get in, get out.
Mick loves this movie.
It's one of my favorite Christmas
Yeah,
movies.
I know this about you.
Yeah.
I'll say 78%.
82.
No points. 25.
Wow.
25 on the tomato meter, but was it a cult classic?
Is it a cult classic? Well, it's shocking. You love this movie so much. It was 28%.
I was shocked when I opened this up.
78%. I think if Mick loves it, it has to be a cult classic.
You're saying
78?
78.
It's got star power, I'll say 55.
47%. Darcy takes it.
What the hell, Mick?
Yeah, I think it's one that's just kind of grown on people. It's been around for a long time.
Well, no. Movies that grow on people are The Big Lebowski.
Okay, so
Is that your Christmas movie?
No, that's a bowling movie or a rug movie. Dazed and Confused is a football movie, and Die Hard is a Christmas movie. Prove me wrong.
I don't even know
all
what
right,
to say.
the definition is, could the same thing have happened if not around Christmas? And absolutely, Die Hard could have happened. Christmas Vacation, though, could not have happened. That plot, that story, could not have happened at any other time than Christmas.
Well, Dazed and Confused had to be around football. Because,
No, it didn't.
Yes, it did, because the entire pledge thing was about football.
could have been basketball.
But it wasn't.
End of story.
Okay. So you're wrong, Mick.
No, you're wrong. So you might as well say that, let's see, Die Hard was a German movie.
Could be.
You calling it a German movie too?
Sure, why not?
Is that it's a German movie.
It's a German Christmas movie.
It's also, let's see, a donut movie. Because he's getting donuts right before he gets the call.
Twinkies. They're Twinkies.
So it's a Twinkie movie?
It could be.
Okay, you're not helping your own argument.
Could be. You're just naming things in the movie.
So are you.
No.
So are you.
Because it is centered around
No,
Christmas.
it's centered around Nakatomi Plaza and
Which?
terrorism. It's a
Why are
terrorism
they
movie. It's an action
celebrating?
movie. They could be celebrating any.
Why?
Same deal with football
It's
to basketball.
Decorated.
You could argue it's
They
a
could
car
decorate
crash
it. Yeah,
movie.
they could decorate anything, or they could not. They could just say there's a party there.
He sent down the dead body with
The
a
entire
sweater
plot of the movie,
with a Christmas
the entire
sweater that said ho 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 on it.
They could have changed that easily.
To what?
But the
It was a
entire
Christmas
crux
party.
and plot of the movie would have still existed.
But it's don't you dare, Nicholas. Saint Nicholas is being
An actual logical person is what I'm being.
Darcy.
So I wanted to pick a movie you probably
this is such
never.
an old argument too. Like I know you just saw it because you don't like
I watch every year.
what starting last year, but like this
Really
is like
this
the
year,
Pete
no.
Rose argument.
I
People have
watch
been
it for
talking about this
15
for
years.
30 years. Okay,
I've been watching
it's
for 15
so
years.
tired. I'm exhausted on the Die Hard Christmas movie argument. I know
tired-
it's new to you.
Tired Die Hard Christmas movie. Wired Dazed and Confused football movie. That's all I'm saying. Your
even
case rests,
dumber.
Your Honor.
So I wanted to pick a movie that you probably never heard of and a classic. We'll start with the
always do that.
classic. It's a Wonderful Life.
How wonderful is it?
It's a great movie.
Give me the synopsis.
Seriously, have you not
Have
seen
you
it?
not seen the movie?
I don't know. Maybe.
Oh,
tell
my-
me the
Oh, you would
synopsis.
know if you've seen it. After
You
George
haven't seen
Bailey-
Rocky.
What?
I've not seen Rocky. I have a picture with the guy on the steps.
The guy?
Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah, with no the
Oh, the statue of Sylvester Stallone?
which is the lamest thing a city could do. They have a statue. Philly has a statue of a fictional character.
Yeah, but they've rallied around him. So Darcy, earlier I was telling about this game my sons and I were playing, where you say, where you try to describe a movie, but use a character of the actor from a different movie. So, case in point, Tulsa King fights Chubbs.
That's Rocky.
Rocky, right? You get it? So Sylvester Stallone, what he played in another movie. Carl Weathers, what he played in
Yeah.
another movie. And
I didn't see
perplexed.
Tulsa King. No, I knew Chubbs right away. I knew that was Happy Gilmore. Don't. Hey, I know my Adam Sandler bad
Okay,
movies. Don't you dare.
Well, let me give you a synopsis of the movie. I can't believe you haven't seen it. After George Bailey wishes he had never been born, an angel is sent to Earth to make George's wish come true.
Jimmy Stewart.
Yes,
is the
Jimmy Stewart's
lead.
fantastic, by the way. George starts to realize how many lives he has changed and impacted and how they would be different if he was never there.
Oh.
This was everybody's
You need to
favorite
watch this
Christmas
movie.
before A Christmas Story came out.
I like A Christmas
And then
Story.
that was everybody's favorite Christmas movie. And then Christmas Vacation came out.
And then
now
Elf.
that's
I
everybody.
think Elf might-
Then Elf
yeah.
might be up there for a lot of people too.
And apparently for you, it's Four Christmases, which no one likes.
No, 25%. 25%.
1/4 of every family likes Four Christmases.
Well, to be fair, those are the idiot critics. So 47, about a half of the.
Yeah. I'll go 94%.
You got it on the dot.
Holy, of course.
Doesn't know what
The
the movie
movies
is.
he has
gets it
no idea
perfect.
about. He always nails. Oh my
That
god.
was good for the bit. That was real good.
But was it a cult classic?
Show me your phone. I want to make sure you didn't look that up. Show it to me
Phone's
real
over
quick.
here.
I know, but you show me the back of your phone. Go open it up. What's the first thing on the screen? Don't get out of it. Don't get out of it. Okay, I'll show me your Safari. Show me your Safari. What's the first thing?
We could be getting into
In Search
very
of Lost
dangerous
Time by
territory
Marcel
here.
Proust.
All right, I'll allow it. He can get those 2 points. So I'm doing popcorn,
Yeah.
and 94 got it for. Wow, I actually thought that was even too high for that movie. Ooh, good. I'm gonna go 90.
93.
95%.
Dang it! It's totally underestimated.
He has never seen the movie, and he got every point.
3 points, baby.
He's
Three.
got 4.
Sterling has 3. Mick has 3. Darcy has 1. Speaking of Christmas Vacation, that's what I'm going to roll
go.
with. National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. As the holidays approach, Clark Griswold wants to have a perfect family Christmas, so he pesters his wife and children as he tries to make sure everything is in line. Eddie is great. Something's full. You'll find out when you watch it. And his family show up unplanned and start living in their camper on the Griswold property. Even worse, Clark's employers the holiday bonus he needs. He needs that holiday bonus. He doesn't get it.
Somebody's done like an estimation of the damage done to property in that movie.
Oh my
and
gosh,
it's off the charts. Okay, so no way the critics were in love with this. And I don't know how critics is this from. Is that from initially we just take the critics, or can critics vote over time?
I think it's
anyway,
over time.
Okay, I'm stalling, monologuing here. I'm
gotta
gonna go 67%.
I've never seen it.
67.
I'll go 70.
What?
I haven't seen it.
What? That's worse than
that's
anything
worse than
Sterling's
my- yeah,
ever
that's
I
said.
need
worse.
to see it. I'm not boycotting. I just
What is
haven't seen
happening? with
Darcy gets a
kids?
point. 1 point.
What was it?
72.
Oh, I was close. He was
Watch
closer.
a movie, guys. Gosh, grow up.
Guys.
Read a book. But was it a cult classic?
95.
It was.
90.
86.
Wow.
Okay.
That's an amazing. That's worse than any movie I've not seen. Darcy is not seeing Christmas
true.
Vacation.
What year was it?
89.
I mean, I can't say what year it was when It's a Wonderful Life was like 1946.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were all over that one, but not the one in color. Okay, so this is Buddy was accidentally transported to the North Pole as a toddler. Ray goes to find his dad. This is Elf. Michael.
I'll say the critics 88.
Yeah, I think they loved it, but I don't know if they loved it that much. I'll go 85.
Two spot.
Let's go.
When you said 88, I'm like, oh man.
Two
Setting 'em up.
spot, more like a stew spot. Am I right?
You're wrong. That's dumb. Okay, you're up. Tomato meter. Or sorry, popcorn.
92.
Let's go 89.
79.
Wow,
One spot.
that's surprising.
One spot.
It is 5-4 to 3. Final movie. Darcy cannot win.
My movie is Last Christmas. I've never heard of this movie in my life. It has Amelia Clarke. It has who else is in it?
Yeah, it's who's the guy?
I can't find it on my phone. The guy was famous too.
It's not the Wham song.
Yeah, that's all. It was not George
It's
Michael.
not George Michael's. No.
Not George Michael.
It came out in 2019. I doubt you've seen
Yeah,
it.
Emma Thompson's in it. Yeah, I remember it.
I have not seen this.
Michelle Yeoh. Yep. Okay.
So what do fans think?
I did look up the
Critics.
movie, but I did not look up Rotten
I was
Tomatoes.
kinda like,
Sorry
you
about
might be
that.
cheating. Yeah.
Sorry. Forgot where it's at.
67%.
For Last Christmas?
Yeah.
Man, that's really close. Which side do I go on?
Ooh, Mick.
70.
It is 47%.
Dang it!
Now
That
Mick
seals
has
it.
to get it.
I got it. No, I got to get on the
get
dot
on the
here.
dot.
This is it. All or nothing. It was what? What was it?
It was 47%.
47. I'm going to go 55.
58.
It's 81.
Dang.
Wow. Final tally 7-4 to 3. Merry Christmas.
You need to go home and watch It's a Wonderful Life, since that led you to victory.
I'm going to hang this on the fridge. We'll take a break, come back to Zone, Sports Radio 810 WHB. FanDuel Sportsbook is live in the Show Me State, and it is a blast. They're kicking things off with an offer that's extremely tough to beat right now. New customers can bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets, win or lose. You forget to give someone a Christmas present. Hey, Mick, sorry, I forgot to give you a Christmas present. Let me give you some money for you can put into your FanDuel account. That's a pretty good present. I'd take that. I know you'd take that too. And you can do it on all things, whether it's football, basketball, hockey, or more. You can bet it all on an app that's safe, secure, and super easy to use. I think Thursday night football has been tough for me, but NBA has been fun for me. So maybe instead of Christmas football, maybe you throw a little something down on NBA. I think NBA on Christmas is always a great, great time. I know yesterday I had some on Josh Giddey. That was a nice day for me, and I did it all on FanDuel. So download FanDuel today or head to FanDuel.com/Missouri and join in on all the excitement. Because Missouri, it's time to play your game with FanDuel.
21 plus and present in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com.
All right. Merry Christmas, you filthy animals. Before we go, score prediction. What do you have for tomorrow?
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Broncos are going to name it. The Chiefs will score, unlike last year against Denver in the second game. I'm going to go 38 again for the Broncos to 6.
I had 38-14. It's going to be ugly.
I'll go 31-10.
Yeah, man, Homer.
Real aggressive. Chiefs win. 31-10 Broncos.
What would Jason say, I wonder?
He'll go.
Would he say something like 24-14?
2017 Chiefs, I think is what he'd say.
Probably.
Jason, wow, you were very confident in Kansas City. Huh, that's weird.
That'd be great. I want Jason to be right.
Okay.
I want imagination Jason to be right.
I like that. You imagining Jason?
He's on vacation Jason right now.